I believe you are quite aware the situation has changed since last we spoke.
The truth is still the truth, and a bargain is still a bargain.
And Mayor Cermak is now deceased.
Yes. What does that have to do with our contract?
I do not recall signing a contract with you, Mr. Heller.
We had a verbal agreement. I'm sure my uncle here will attest to that.
Nathan, please. You're being most rude.
But Dawes reacted just as I knew he would.
Lewis, as a family man, I quite understand your position. As for you, young Mr. Heller, you should not have spoken to the papers of this. It was a breach of confidence.
Nothing was said of our arrangement being a confidential one. Besides which, I was in fact discreet.
How so?
I didn't tell the reporters why I was offered the job at the fair. Void our deal, sir, and I'm going to be put into an embarrassing light. I will have to inform the press of your involvement.
This reeks of blackmail, young man.
It reeks of business. Our arrangement is binding in my view, and if you feel differently, I'll be noisy about it.
Nathan.
I'm not a big wheel like you, General, but us little wheels can get good and goddamn squeaky when we don't get our grease.
My secretary will have contracts ready for you to sign this afternoon at 4. Please return and sign them. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm Rob casting at you. You imagination connoisseurs, you members of this, the Post-Geek Singularity community. This is Let's Get Physical Media, I don't know, episode 191. I just want to say, shout out to the elegantly lovely, beautiful Lisa Stevenson at Lionsgate for sending me this beautiful swag. You know, you can tell that a woman is in charge when the swag is good. Look at this color. This color is good. The logo is not too big. It's placed high enough. This was an expertly designed sweatshirt, hoodie, and it's very, very comfortable. Now, I don't even know if Lisa had anything to do with the design of it, but in my headcanon, she did, because this is a great piece of swag. I don't know if you go to the Lionsgate website, the Lionsgate Limited website, if you can find it to purchase it. I highly recommend doing it. And yes, I'm shilling because she sent this to me for free. Why not? But you know what? That's one thing. I don't know if Dieter Bastian got one. He might have. We don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But you know him, you love him. He's your Huckleberry. All the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian.
Rob, let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
I'm frustrated with you again.
Okay, wait. Hang on. Before you tell me, I want to say, okay, I know what you're going to say. I forgot to read your super chat last night. I didn't see it.
No,
I didn't see it, but let me read it for you right now, okay? Don't dump me, Rob. I'm not an earner, just a spender. Okay, I'm sorry.
This was tied to the last observation, and that's what I'm referring to, Rob. Here, I'm buying physical media stuff for you to get in your good graces day in, day out, and you say, Deeds, stay in your lane. Hollywood will kill you. It will eat you up and spit you out. And then you read a letter on observations that I only need $5,000 to make in Hollywood. God damn it, Rob! I would have made it. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Yeah, I'm rocking like Eric. And welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. Rob, $5,000.
I laughed at that. I laughed at that. I did laugh at $5,000. I'm like, that'll last you a month.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's your rent payment now. Do you know?
I was writing the live chat from when was this article? 1970s? I wasn't sure. But I was thinking $5,000. I could have made it.
To be honest,
Rob, you destroyed meine Weltanschauung, my worldview of Hollywood. That I could make it with $5,000 only.
I just want you to know that when I moved here in 1988 to start at USC, I came down with $10,000 in cash. In 88. And that lasted me barely the summer. And I wasn't buying, and my rent was only like $500. So,
Yeah.
Hollywood's changed, buddy.
But, yeah.
I heard a truism about the wine business. In order to, let's see if I remember this correctly. In order to make a large fortune in the wine business, you must first start with a small fortune. And it's true. It's true. Absolutely true. So there you go, buddy.
Yeah. And Rob, you and myself have no interest in the Snow White movie, but we will report on the box office. But another question, Rob, what actually happened to the Daily Wire movie with Brett Cooper?
Oh, I think, I
it?
talked about this yesterday on the Salty Nerd podcast. Jeremy Boring, who is the co-founder of the Daily Wire, who owns it, has stepped back. Look, here's the thing. Here is a truism. Here's a truism. If you haven't been forged in fire, like myself, in Hollywood, people have a misconception, and their egos are way out of proportion in terms of the realities of making entertainment. Everybody wants to chime in, and everybody thinks that they can chime in. I think working in movies and television is the one business in the world, to quote Ty Rivera, in the world, the one business in the world where everybody thinks they know everything. Like, I don't think I can be a brain surgeon. I would not walk into a room and say, let me tell you how you really should be reattaching the medulla oblongata.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, nobody would ever say that. If you work in Hollywood, everyone will tell you what's up. Everyone will tell you what you're doing wrong. Everyone will tell you how to make something better. They don't know fuck all about it, but they'll tell you because they've watched a lot of movies and they've watched a lot of TV. And it's like very frustrating, but it happens. I don't like this, I don't like that. And it's frustrating for people like myself who have spent a lifetime studying the business, but you don't get credit for that. The only credit you get is how much money you make. So, what are you going to do?
It was just a surprise, Rob, because it had a trailer. Movie had a trailer. And looked,
I think it wasn't, but Jeremy Boring didn't. The Daily Wire is not a film company. And both Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring were frustrated creators that wanted to work in Hollywood. Jeremy Boring he worked for Gary Sinise's conservative firm, and Ben Shapiro, very smart guy. I don't dislike Ben Shapiro. I listen to his commentary, but he was another person that, Hollywood is a war of attrition, and if you're still sticking around, you can. Like Mike Bodden and I say at Imagination Connoisseurs Unlimited, we green light ourselves. So that's and because if you're waiting, I have wasted more of my life. Orson Welles too. He wasted. I'm not comparing myself to him, but Orson Welles said he spent most of his life trying to find money to make projects, and even when he was making projects, they were always interfered with, and it's no way to live. I mean, if I was a crypto baron, if I had bought crypto back in 2009 when somebody first came to me and said I should do it, and it was like a penny,
it'd be nice.
I would have had, if I had bought 10,000 Bitcoin in 2009, I could buy Star Trek right now and make whatever I wanted for the rest of my life. I just didn't, I didn't understand what Bitcoin was. I'm sure when Jeff Bezos was like, it's called Amazon, or it's called Microsoft, Bill Gates, What are you going to do?
It would just have been nice, Rob, to have both movies, to compare, like Armageddon, Deep Impact, Volcano, Dante's Peak, just kind of that situation again. We would have another Snow White. But, okay.
Snow White, so you want to know?
Actually do.
Okay, yeah. So as Deadline reports, Anthony D'Alessandro says, ho-hum. Ho-hum. Snow White opens to $43 million. What poisoned this princess at the box office? Well, the answer to that on every YouTube show you're going to watch for the next week is Rachel Zegler. But whatever. Look, I would like to point out that all of us remember Snow White opened to about what Mufasa opened to, and Mufasa played for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I think that what's important with Snow White is to see how it performs in week 2 and week 3 as spring break kicks in and more kids come around. I understand that this movie is a lightning rod for toxicity in this community, in the YouTube space.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that the rest of the world isn't on board. So they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but clearly in the case of Snow White, there was. Disney has been put through the ringer before on controversial theatrical releases, i.e. Solo, a Star Wars story, and its swapping of directors, which deep sixed that movie to a very less than $1 billion global take of $393 million. It's why Disney muzzles talent on slipping any kind of information on a movie months in advance, particularly on Star Wars and Marvel movies. So, sorry about that. But at its current level, as we told you Friday, it's right on par with Dumbo's lackluster start and far behind other Disney feature takes of Walt's animated movies like The Little Mermaid, Maleficent, and Cinderella.
Yeah.
Oh, and Snow White received a B+ cinema score, which is an extremely low grade for this type of Disney subgenre. Even the middling ones, Dumbo got an A-, Mufasa got an A-, Pete's Dragon got an A, and the Maleficent franchise, both A's, earned top grades. So, there you go.
Yeah.
So the box office, so Snow White took in $43 million. Number 2 this weekend is Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag. Like to see that. It took in $4.4 million, $14.88 million. They talked about this being a $50 million spend. This movie looks good. I think I'm going to go see it tonight with Elizabeth. Captain America: Brave New World made another $4.1 million. It's at $192.1 million. Quietly, it might sail over the $400 million mark, which is good for that movie. I want to see it make money. Mickey 17 is up to $40.2 million at number 4. Novocaine grossed $3.76 million for a $15.76 million gross. Alto Nights, the new Barry Levinson, Robert De Niro movie where Robert De Niro plays two guys, which barely, made $3.1 million. Looney Tunes made another $1.83 million, $6.4 million. The Monkey has made $37.8 million in week 5. Dogman is at $95.6 million. And The Last Supper is up to $5.3 million. Paddington in Peru at number 11 is at $43.66 million. So there you go. I want to check check international box office.
Okay.
Because I am interested to see what they said.
Yeah.
So Snow White, they call Snow White bashful. It made $87.3 million worldwide.
Okay. 50-50.
About 50-50 there. Yep. So, oh wait, it doesn't have a list. Oh, they have more to say, but by the way, Captain America did in fact cross 400 million globally as it winds down.
Okay.
Disney has the top 2 releases of the year so far, and Mickey 17 passed 100 million global, which is cool. On a side note, my friend Jeff Goldsmith, he was at an event at the Academy Museum Theater where John Carpenter was there and Bong Joon-ho was interviewing him before a screening of The Thing. And at that interview, Bong Joon-ho asked John Carpenter, he said, he's saying this in Korean, my next movie is a horror movie, and Bong Joon-ho asked John Carpenter to write the score for it. And Bong Joon-ho, John Carpenter said, yes, he would. And there's a great picture of them laughing, and Bong Joon-ho puts his hands up because, look, anybody who is a fan, if you're a Carpenter fan of his movies, of which I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, ever since Assault on Precinct 13, John Carpenter's scores are such a part of his films. I mean, Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness. I mean, they're not just great scores. They're some of my favorite scores for movies. So, just wanted to say.
And considering the box office dropped 2 points, I heard good news this week. Wile E. Coyote vs. Acme is perhaps saved, and we'll get...
They're talking about that. They're talking about Ketchup who's releasing the Looney Tunes movie. Look, I think it was a huge mistake. Everyone who's seen... I haven't heard one person say who saw... so for those of you who don't know, in addition to Batgirl, Warner Bros. Also shelved a movie called Coyote versus Acme. And Coyote versus Acme is a Roger Rabbit-esque movie about Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme Corporation for giving him faulty ideas and equipment while he goes after the Roadrunner. And it was based on an essay, I want to say, that was in the New Yorker, like in 1990. Yeah. And everyone says the movie's really great. First of all, that premise alone, that log line is great. And if the movie, how do you not take that film and sell that? You should totally be able to sell that to an audience. And I think the only reason, look, one of the problems that I have noticed in the entertainment business is a lot of the people that are in charge just do not understand what it is like that the movie, like if you're not a fan of Looney Tunes and you don't understand, if you don't know who Wile E. Coyote, if you don't know who Wile E. Coyote, it's Wile E. Coyote. Now, I always say Wile E. It's Wile E. Coyote. If you don't know who Wile E. Coyote is, as in Wiley, he's a wily cat. If you don't know who Wile E. Coyote is, and you don't understand what Acme is in relation to him, you're gonna be like, what is this movie about? And I really feel that look, I've not seen the movie. I really feel that the people the powers that be, like David Zaslav, I don't think David Zaslav, if you told him, and I could be wrong, and he listens, he wanted to learn, but you could probably tell him, but I don't think he would be like, why would people want to see that? And I really think that this movie, Coyote versus Acme, has suffered that fate. I'm sure people heard it and said, this movie's about what? And it's called Coyote versus Acme? Who's going to go see that? Well, just about anybody who, if you explain it in a good trailer and put an image up,
yeah,
and I mean, you could do an ad campaign that mimics all of the famous posters from legal thrillers, like all the John Grisham thrillers, like that Warner Brothers released, like A Time to Kill or The Client or something, and you could just do posters, riffs on those posters as your ad campaign, and make it seem like it's this really serious, like Paul Newman's The Verdict when he's going up against the Catholic Archdiocese for medical malpractice. I mean, you could make it look like it's the legal thriller of our time, and make it really, it'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious. And people, assuming the movie's good.
And you could certainly do a montage with all the Wile E. Coyote and Acme stuff that happened, so just a 5-minute clip of everything that the poor animal suffered through.
And you could even recreate some of the most famous of those things Roger Rabbit style. So you're like you could start out in the Grand Canyon, like a sweeping drone shot of the Grand Canyon, and you hear this like meep, meep, from the distance, and maybe as the camera's sweeping down, you see like a smoke, a trail of dust coming or something, and then behind him some contraption, and it almost Road Warrior Fury Road style. The camera comes down, and and you don't know, you think it's a car, and it's the Roadrunner, and then you just play it out where the coyote goes off the cliff, and he's standing in the air, he's looking around, and he realizes, wait, he looks down. I mean, but do it live action style. I don't know, man. I just think
at least Rob, we have a good chance to see the movie.
Yeah, and
it's not out of the question anymore. And
no,
and for me, it's just, will he win his court case against Acme? That's the interesting thing about it.
Well, I think if I made the movie, no. He's going to get, Wile E. Coyote is going to get crushed by the legal system. It's not going to be the triumphant underdog thing. And you're going to think he wins, but some technicality is going to happen. And
okay. And the second thing about the box office, Rob, I need your input. You, as the German distributor, know that we Germans like to change titles. Novocaine, Rob. What does that even mean? We need a new title for Novocaine. It can still be English, but we need another title that gives the German an idea what the movie is about. Because we have a new title here in Germany, Rob. What is the German title for Novocaine?
I Can't Be Hurt. You Can't Hurt
Mr.
Me.
No Pain. Mr. No Pain is the German title.
Mr. No Pain. Don't people isn't Novocaine the same around the world?
I don't know.
Like
I
when
don't
you
know.
go to the
They changed
dentist,
the title here, Rob.
when you went to the dentist and had your wisdom
Yeah.
teeth out, did they give you Novocaine?
I don't know what I got back in the day, Rob. But they changed the title, Rob. Mr. No Pain is the German title of Novocaine here.
Wow.
Just saying, Rob. Just saying. Okay. So far for Snow White. And hopefully the movie will sail far in a way that we get that movie finally behind us. So, Rob, considering what I have seen this week, she's back, Rob. Back after 2 years. Wasn't expecting it. And she's back, Rob. Die Totenfrau. The Woman of the Dead with her second season. Anna Maria Mühle is back. And I totally had a blast with it. Once again, I recommended it to you 2 years ago, but I know its recommendation are not high up your list. But I had a very good time with the second season because, like Paradise, the first season, the main case was closed, but they left still stuff open because it's based on a trilogy of books. So hopefully, I don't know if they trailed those books, if we will get even a third season. So for once, a nice Austrian-German production. Woman of the Dead is the English title. And then last week, Rob, you probably saw it too. Victoria gave us the biggest recommendation for the week, which was, of course, Adolescence
Bro.
on Netflix.
Bro.
Tough stuff.
Wow.
Tough
The
stuff.
episode 3 is one of the most astonishing things I've ever seen. That's when
Because
they're
it's exactly right up your alley, Rob. Just two people talking in a room.
That kid, it's his first performance ever,
Yeah.
and that was one shot. I mean, the performance was chilling. I mean, absolutely chilling. And I'll tell you something, in terms of, I've never seen, there's been a lot, the only thing I could have done without is they shouldn't have referenced Andrew Tate directly. They talked about Andrew Tate and the manosphere, which is what a lot of this was about, but they shouldn't have referred to him directly, I don't think, because what that does is they should have just made it general. But I've never seen what I think to be a more insightful depiction of what social media has done to our culture. Yeah. In this case, what it does to young men, better portrayed than it is in adolescence. I mean, it was deeply chilling. And Stephen Graham, the father, oh my God, last episode, that performance,
and we knew already, Rob, that team from Boiling Point. You know, it is the same director who did Boiling Point.
By the way, Boiling Point, a nice Second Sight release. Yay, Second Sight. But yeah, I mean, Stephen Graham, man, one of the producers on the show, that guy, that final shot when he was crying into his son's pillow, oh my God. What a performance. And everybody's talking about it.
The story is so great, it would have worked if you wouldn't have do it with the one take.
No,
but
I mean,
added to the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily down with it in the first episode because when they're in the car, they had to keep panning back and forth, and that camera move when you're panning. I know there's no other way to do it, but when you're panning, you have to pan. That panning move, that was like, okay, we have to do that. We have to we'd much rather cut, but we're going to show the pan here. But even that shot, when they coordinated all of the different the cop cars going up to the house, like you're panning around and the car pulls up and the other ones are coming down the street. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And I know, Rob, you're not a fan of drone shots, but for me, the final shot of the second episode when you go from the school to the crime scene.
Well, that was amazing. And the thing about what drone shots to me have become a cliche, following the cars and the 45-degree angle shot from following a car through the woods. I understand why they do it, but follow John Ford's advice. If the horizon is on the bottom, it's interesting. But if it's in the middle, it's not interesting. I mean, if you can figure out a way to make
it just was great, Rob, because it came a little bit out of nowhere. You wouldn't expect it, considering this one shot and then the camera took off.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Great series, and I wasn't expecting the episodes, how they would play out. At the beginning it said day 1, so I was thinking this is just about the first 4 days, and perhaps it would be a murder mystery or something, But each episode were very, very different, and from a different time span. So adolescence is worth the hype, and perhaps when the Emmys come around this year, Rob, perhaps Stephen Graham should be.
And that kid, I think that kid will pull like a Tatum O'Neal, like a Paper Moon kind of thing. I don't know. Did she win? Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe she did. But incredible, absolutely incredible show.
Yeah, incredible,
chilling. And of course, really chilling. Now I've not caught up. Severance ended. What did you think of the Severance ending?
I still like the show, but for me, the second season was a little bit of a step down. We get a lot of character stuff. I get some answers at the ending, but like I said before, for me, it developed from a slow burn into more of a slow season. A lot of walking through the same halls.
Yeah.
And I've lost a little bit of interest in the characters themselves. And Rob, I'm not good in predicting twists and turns, but even I could see one twist and one, not revelation, but how they would handle the stuff with one of the innies and meeting her Audi that would in her wife on the outside. I would kind of figure it out, okay, what they would be probably doing here. So still, from the production standpoint, great series, but for me, second season, I'm not sure if I'm down for a third one at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of heard. A lot of people loved it, but I think I think people who have seen a lot of science fiction and stuff liked it less than the people who haven't, that are encountering these ideas for the first time. Although I don't know if that's true. I could be wrong.
The setting, the idea of the show is still great.
Yeah.
It's still great to me. But Rob, I just can't deal with the office space anymore, with the white room.
I know.
I can't deal with it anymore, But still, a great show. Perhaps when the third season comes out, perhaps I will wait until all episodes are available so that I can, get through it a little bit more quicker than to have weekly.
I got to bring up some controversy.
Okay.
So we know that Warner Brothers has Warner Archive, and we know that George Feltenstein heads up Warner Archive, and it's amazing, and they use all the great cover art for their classic releases. They either use the actual key art or they use official art. The Warner Archive does a beautiful job. We also know that regular Warner Brothers has given us beautiful things like the Poltergeist cover, which is one of the most god-awful
what you're referring
covers.
To. I have seen it.
And then there's the Lost Boys cover, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a winner, Dieter. I think we now have something.
You would have thought, Rob, it couldn't be topped. You thought it couldn't be topped, but it was topped this week.
Now you know that one of a favorite franchise of people that began in 1987 was Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon. And Lethal Weapon is finally coming out in 4K, and they showed us some of the artwork. Now this
prepare the people, Rob. Prepare our people if they have not seen it yet.
If you ask yourself, like, how bad can artwork for a steelbook actually be? How bad? I mean, how bad? I mean, at a studio, you've got to have a brain trust. And remember, somebody designed this. Somebody actually, and then somebody else at the studio looked at it and said, oh, yeah, let's go with that. I mean,
was he thinking about National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from wherever you are and however you identify across the 28 known galaxies, I give you the Lethal Weapon Steelbook. What the fuck is this? What is this? I mean, you know what? Sometimes people think they're clever when they've actually just gone over the line into unbelievable stupidity. First of all, is this because they don't want to admit that Mel Gibson is in this movie? What the fuck? And I get it. I understand this does refer to something that happens in the film, but this does not scream Lethal Weapon to me. And you know what this makes me want to do? Not buy it. Not buy it.
Can only hope the standard version will be just a regular cover.
Well, or that the Warner Brothers UK. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons that we should never alienate our allies, because in the UK, they know what's up. The people at Warner Brothers UK gave us that Constantine box set. They gave us the Exorcist Bible box. You know, I mean, the people at Warner Brothers UK are highly educated and smart. And I would like to think Americans are, and people that work in studios are, but behold. Like, is this a special needs? Did somebody, is there a new initiative for people that are mentally challenged? I mean, am I going to get canceled for saying that? Because this is terrible. And the thing is, it's not only terrible, it's like it went through a bunch of approvals. Like somebody like probably delivered 10 different versions, and this is the one they went with. Because some numbnuts thinks people have a problem with Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. That's my only concern. And it's like, get over it, man. He's repented. And Mel Gibson is back directing movies. He made the last Mark Wahlberg movie on the plane.
Flight Risk,
which has a better steelbook than this fucking shit does. So
certainly.
So I don't know. I call it out. I'm never going to work for these people, but I'm just going to say, what is this? Why do I live in a country where this exists? Why? Who decided this was good? And who decided that they should go ahead and move forward? Even the disc is boring. I mean, the key art for this.
The only saving grace can be the transfer of the only saving grace.
Yeah, and the maybe an Atmos track or something. But goddamn, Warner Brothers, 3 strikes: Poltergeist, Lost Boys, and now Lethal Weapon. You're out.
Exorcist. Don't forget the Exorcist drop.
Well, that's true because that too. Because the Exorcist, I didn't mind the Reagan McNeil on the bed looking at you.
Yeah,
but I mean, still, what the fuck? Come on, man, do better. This is why we can't have nice things, and this is why the studios are in trouble, because some well-paid person gave us this. Ooh. This is everything, by the way, kind of like modern Star Trek. You can look at this image and you can see everything currently wrong with the United States in this single image and what it represents from a metaphorical standpoint. That's what we get.
Yeah.
We deserve better. Our republic deserves better.
I would look at that steelbook and would be thinking, is that really the Lethal Weapon movie I know, or is it an Asylum production? a copycat of Lethal Weapon?
You know what? I can honestly say, Dieter, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here all week.
Rob, we have some super chats that came in.
We do. Do we have super chats?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Before you get into physical media.
Garrett Groover says, with the news that Tombstone is getting a 4K, what Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures movie should get a 4K next? What movies in those libraries deserve a 4K remaster? There's only one answer to that question. One. From my perspective. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Blood in, blood out.
Oh, hello.
My carnal, la onda! Hey, Milkweed. Come on, man.
I want to see Dead Presidents. I think it was a Touchstone movie.
Dude, Dead Presidents is on 4K from Criterion, bro. Oh, no, that was Menace to Society.
Yeah,
never mind.
But I think
Dead Presidents is a good one. That's a good one. Blood in. You know what? Then we got South Central. We got East Los. Cruise.
Need the rock, Rob.
How come you can watch Blood In, Blood Out in a 4K upscale on YouTube if it's still there, and I can't get Blood In, Blood Out? I mean, I have my DVD. That's one of my prized DVDs in my collection, assuming it hasn't rotted away, which it hasn't. It's one of my prized DVDs, and I'd like to replace it with a 4K disc. So there you go.
It would be nice.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be nice? The Vixter says Bridget Jones 4 has made over $120 million theatrically and no North American theatrical release. Black Bag is also great. Yes, I'm going to go see Black Bag today. I would expect nothing less from Soderbergh, Michael Fassbender, and Kate Blanchett. Can't wait to see it. And Paul Brunato says Magazine Dreams, with all of the Jonathan Majors court troubles, is an excellent movie with an Oscar-caliber performance that didn't find its audience. Too bad. Yeah, I mean, it is too bad. By the way, do you know at my local theater, the Harkins Theater near me, Opus, the John Malkovich like rock star crazy movie, Opus, Magazine Dreams, and Ash, the new science fiction sci-fi movie directed by Flying Lizard. Is it Broken Lizard, Flying Lizard, whatever his name is. That's all three of those movies and Black Bag are playing at my local theater. And I said to Elizabeth, why don't we go see Black Bag and Ash tonight? And she's like, we don't see enough movies and then in the theater, and you want to take me to a double feature? I'm like, you're on spring break. Spring break. Come on.
And I don't think they are both around 90 minutes, Rob, you know?
I know. Get liquored up. You know, go watch Black Bag, get liquored up for Ash, see some cosmic horror. What's up? What? Come on, that's a night. That's a night.
Yeah. Night out.
What are you going to do? You know, chicks, man. We're getting old. They can't stay up all night. Give me a break. Garrett Groover says, I personally would like to see The Color of Money. Ooh, great call. I love The Color of Money. Not only is it a wonderful movie, but that 2012 Blu-ray looks awful. It does look awful. It's not good. So that's a good one, Garrett Groover. Color of Money is really good. I love Color of Money. Great Scorsese movie. Not a great adaptation of Walter Tevis's novel because they couldn't use Minnesota Fats, but that's okay. I was talking with Max Allan Collins about Walter Tevis, who wrote the novels The Hustler and The Color of Money. And he also wrote Man Who Fell to Earth and Mockingbird and Queen's Gambit. And Max knew him. Max knew Walter Tevis. So that Max Allan Collins, he's a very good writer. Just saying. Episode 8, if you haven't heard of True Noir. By the way, do you know what? I finished editing True Noir. I'm done.
Oh, so just the final sound mix touches.
Yes, on episodes 9 and 10. Trying to work it out, and then we have to do the long play versions with all 10 episodes
Is
put
your
together as one piece.
audio facility still available to you?
It will be, yeah. We're going to bring it in just under the wire. So that's good. And so you'll be able to listen to True Noir as one long 5-hour, about four and a half hour, a little more than that, long piece, or you can listen to the individual episodes. And I have mapped out the Blu-ray. I have started working on the Blu-ray. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. So I think we're caught up. Hang on, let me just make sure that we're caught up on Super Chats. Tom Jr. Jackson says, happy birthday. Have you and the Trash Panda watched The Pit? And what do you think of it so far? I'm addicted to the show.
The Pit?
Have you seen The Pit? Okay, it's a new Max show. It's basically ER 2.0. And it stars Noah Wiley, and it's all set in an emergency room. And each episode, it's like 24 meets ER. And it's really good. So every episode is an hour of a day in the emergency room. And it's one hectic day.
Seems,
but it's,
seems like
really,
a stressful
good
series. No, I have not, Tom. I have not.
Really, really good. Justin Toner says, hey, Rob and Dieter, I got my copy of Godzilla vs. Biollante, the 4K from Criterion, early this week, thanks to a pre-order from their website. New transfer isn't perfect, but still very good and an improvement. Yeah, I've heard that. But it's still in 4K getting Godzilla vs. Biollante. That was a hard one to get, even though I have it. That's another DVD I get to replace. It's very cool that Criterion put that out. I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. Not as much as I like the new the what is it? The High C Godzilla versus Mothra, but I do love it. I do love it. It's great. And I will be getting it. Castle Grace Skull says, happy birthday, Robert and Dieter from Canada.
Happy birthday, Castle Grayskull.
From Canada. So happy birthday to you. 200 Watt Studio says, I just watched my widescreen laserdisc of Excalibur again. I love it. Any word on the impending 4K release? Will it have the original mono mix that Borman went with? I've heard whispers about this. I would imagine that we will be seeing Excalibur. I don't know about the soundtrack. I'd like to get the original mono mix, but that movie would benefit for somebody to go in and give it an Atmos release. Yeah. And that movie needs, because the way it was shot, needs a lot of tender, loving care. And when it comes to the 4K transfer, I love Excalibur, but I would love to get an Atmos mix of that only because for the score alone.
Always for the score. If you just broaden the soundstage with the score, for me it's always a plus.
Yeah.
Against the mono track.
So we are caught up.
Okay. Then I think, Rob, for once, you start.
We're 42 minutes into this show, and we haven't shown physical media.
People are upset again, Rob.
I only got a few things this week. Yeah. I didn't wait for.
Me too, Rob.
I got this at a Thief in 4K.
Oh, nice.
Now this looks exactly like the Blu-ray for Thief. I have to tell you, this movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. It really is. This is a great 4K disc. It looks incredible. I think the opening 9 minutes when James Caan breaks into a safe with the Tangerine Dream score, the piece of music is called Diamond Diary, is one of the great pieces of cinema of all time. It is so stylish. This movie to me, 80s filmmaking began with this film. The whole aesthetic of that was carried across all the way into Miami Vice and all that. And this disc is great. And what's interesting, I don't know the answer to this, but the Blu-ray says that it's a 5.1 mix. This 4K says 5.0, which means it doesn't have an LFE channel. It doesn't have a low-frequency channel. It's just a 5.1 stereo mix, which is fine because I got to tell you, I played this at ear-splitting volume, and everyone's like, why is this so loud? House full of women.
Even the dog slept.
Gilbert liked it, though. And I was just because the first 9 minutes of this is great. I love this movie. I saw this movie opening
like
weekend.
You said, Rob, you always have to be careful because the Blu-ray and the 4K look exactly the same.
Yeah, you really do.
Be careful what you are ordering.
It's true. I love this.
It's case-worthy because you put it in a case. It's case-worthy.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you say that because where'd they go? I have one right here.
Yeah,
I have one right here, and that's how I know the difference. See, you know, I take my cases and I put my discs in them right away, and then I always know that it's a 4. Oops, gotta get it the right direction.
Yeah,
I always know. See that it's a 4K disc. So yes, it's going into a case. And it goes because my 4Ks are split out from the rest of my collection.
Yeah,
and I have, by the way, I have surpassed 1,000 4K discs, which is I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
It is, Rob. It is.
It is for me.
Yeah.
It is for me. And then let's see. There's a lot of stuff that did not come in yet. I did get the Penguin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
need to get the.
I don't know if this came with if there was a slipcase version of it. I thought kind of.
Well, I don't think so. Rob.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You know why? Because what is this? Warner Brothers? Of course it is. Why would Warner Brothers put a slipcase on one of the best TV shows of the year?
At least we're happy, Rob, that Warner is putting out stuff and doesn't leave it only on.
It's true. Now the only other thing I got this from Indicator. I don't know anything about this. This is a cat in the bag.
Oh,
I love Indicator. I love Indicator. They're putting out Carnal Knowledge. That's in the news. Mike Nichols' Carnal Knowledge, which I love that movie. When I was a little kid, I thought it was so scandalous that I was seeing it. But I got Thirst from Indicator. And of course, I got 5,699 out of 6,000. And they make it so you can actually, they make their special edition things not very big, so they fit. You can take them and you can put the special edition in front. So let's open this, shall we? I mean, Indicator, it's kind of we don't talk about Indicator enough, but they're really, I love the Jean Rollin releases, but every one of their releases, the transfers are stunning because they're from, I guess, a company called Powerhouse, and they're like a post company.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Thomas Logan reminded me of that.
It's these beautiful matte finish sleeves. I mean, look at this. How do you not love this? I don't know anything about this movie. The ancient evil is now a modern industry. Count me in. But this is 4K. It has the director. Look at this. I mean, come on.
Nice.
And now this is a paper like sleeve. So you got the disc.
Yeah.
You go, Indicator. I love all these companies that find all the original key art. And then, of course, they have some of the best booklets in the business. And so it's not Jean Rollin, but look at this. Look at this shot of, they find all this great key art of making the movie. I mean, look at that. That's real movie making. That's indie horror right there. And then, of course, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Industrial vampirism or whatever. I don't know what's going on here. But the fact that Indicator took the time to put this out, they do a great job. And their genre titles are terrific, and so is everything else they put out. So, Thirst.
Need to report back to us, Rob.
Box set. Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing it. Cat in the bag. And I'm still waiting for a lot of stuff I ordered, which, like, where's my Last of Us box set? Don't know.
Okay.
But then my final title of the week comes to us once again from Lionsgate Limited. And, Lionsgate Limited is basically a boutique label within a studio. It's catering directly to collectors, special edition stuff, and everything they put out so far. They've already sold out of Kill Bill 1, and they've sold out of their Apocalypse Now. I don't know if anything else is sold out. But go to Lionsgate Limited. They have a lot of cool stuff coming. There's something coming that they haven't announced yet that I'm really excited to get, that I actually wrote an article for. Thank you, Lisa, for getting me involved. But Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
Awesome, Rob.
Forbidden Kingdom. And you showed this, didn't you?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Because it was available at Amazon regularly, Rob.
Yeah.
For normal.
But
for normal folk could order.
I will just show this again because...
I think it was one of the earliest Blu-rays back in the day.
Look at that. What a great cover.
Nice.
And I love that the Lionsgate Limited logo is on all this stuff. So very happy to have this. Yeah. And it came wrapped in this sweatshirt. So thank you, Lisa Stevenson.
Oh, good idea.
Yes. Must be very fun to be married to her. Cliff's a lucky guy. They were like high school sweethearts. And it still worked out. I can see why. She's beautiful. How'd you do that, Cliff? Good man, good guy. But yes, so all good in the hood. That's what I got. Those are my 4 titles this week, which is good because my 4K collection, you have to go back and re-alphabetize everything when you get a lot of stuff in, which is annoying. But well, those are white people Western problems. Not white. I should just say those are first world problems. I don't want to misgender anybody or miscolor anybody. We're all in this together.
Our show, they are first world problems.
That's right. It's like there's all kinds of horror and degradation going on around the world, but this particular show is concerned with physical media. We can't solve all the world's problems. Although I do think movies, if more people watch movies, they could solve all the world's problems, but they don't.
Yeah.
So
we had some super chats from 200 Watt Studio that came in, Rob.
Well,
considering the thief.
Do we have more?
Yeah.
From 200 Watt Studio? Is he going to complain about To Live and Die in LA? I don't know.
Not yet.
Let's see. 200 Watt Studio, well, he redacted a message, but he said, I'm hearing that the new 4K of Thief from Criterion has a better color grade than the previous Blu-ray release. It looks amazing. Also, the Criterion Biolante has a 5.0 track too. the new Thief and Biolante Criterions have 5.0 soundtracks, not 5.1. Is there something Criterion is doing? Misprints, other labels? What's so weird is if
you would need to check if what the info says at your player, if it's 5.0 or 5.1.
Well, the thing is, if you saying 5.0 doesn't make any sense. The whole point about so what people don't understand about Dolby Digital, a Dolby 5.1 mix, like normally when you have a stereo surround mix, if it's not 5.1, not Dolby Digital, because what 5.1 does, 5.1 is programmed specifically to go to various channels. So
discrete channels.
Discrete channels. And it's sending, like for instance, True Noir is mixed in 5.1, and we have a 2-channel mix as well. So when I get my sound files back from Mike, when he sends me back the files to make the final audio output, I get 6 different audio tracks for 5.1. And you have to stack them properly. And it's left, right, center, LFE, left surround, and right surround.
Right.
And then you have to make sure that they're in the right place, and then you can export it as a file. So what's happening with the sound, each channel is going to a specific speaker.
Yeah.
And it's designed that way. And the 0.1 of 5.1 is your subwoofer, is low frequency. So if you don't have a low frequency channel, because Thief, I don't even think, like Thief didn't exist. The Blu-ray says 5.1 on it. I don't know what the difference is, but probably because there really wasn't a Dolby Digital mix of Thief. But if it's 5.0, that is Dolby Digital. It's weird. I don't know what it is, what's going on there. I'd like to find out. Maybe it's a misprint. All I can tell you is that the Thief disc, the 4K, has a very aggressive, the surrounds kick in. They really did a great job with the mix. I was thoroughly enjoying myself.
Yeah. And it all depends on your personal setup, or mostly, considering my setup, of course, I have all speakers set on small, so there will always be a low frequency effect go to the sub to handle that,
Right.
That's what the sub is for. So it's a little bit on considering the personal setup. But you just could, I will check if I watch Thief, what the info, the
I didn't. That's it. Yeah,
I
I didn't check. I should look. Yeah. But all I know is it's a great disc. It looks and sounds
We know
fantastic.
that sometimes it's just could be a misprint on the.
And I will say that the Thief that's on Criterion has 2 scenes that were not in the theatrical version, which is interesting. The first scene takes place after, when the car is driving away from the initial diamond heist. There's a scene when James Caan's character is walking on the waterfront in Chicago and sits down next to a fisherman and has a brief exchange looking out at the lake, and he gives him a Danish. And it's a nice scene, but I don't think there's any mention on the disc that it's like the quote unquote director's cut. Maybe there is. I don't know. There's not 2 different versions on this disc. So, and by the way, I don't mind it. As a Thief purist, I like that scene. I think it's just a nice that scene's a nice scene. I like it.
Okay.
So
back
to you, Dietz.
We're caught up. Okay.
We're caught up.
Then I think I show some stuff, Rob, what I got this week. The first one I already showed because I got the French disc, but now I got the English one because I was a little bit not happy with the French disc. It was fine, but it had French subtitles, not completely, but just to translate some stuff that is on a wall or something like that. So I got the English one because this is really a nice one. I got Die Alone again with Carrie and Moss. But, Rob, don't expect, all the destruction here that you see. It's more a little bit of a smaller movie, but really a nice one. Really nice one. It says 28 Days Later meets The Last of Us. Really can recommend it. Really nice. Die Alone. It's really refreshing idea. Then, would you believe it, Rob? I made a little mistake, but just a little mistake. So I bought this one, Seawolves, with Cynthia Khan, so right up my alley. And of course, Rob, the cover again is a little misleading, considering that the weapons are not in use in the movie. It comes with just a small booklet. Simon Yam is in the movie too. And I watched it. Totally had a good time with it. For the genre fan, totally good movie. But actually, Rob, I was expecting a different one. I didn't have into it. I did it for my DVD days because Hong Kong Legends was the go-to label back in the day. Because actually, I thought it was the movie Red Wolf, not Sea Wolves. So I did a little mistake on my end, but still was nice and entertaining. But I still need Red Wolf on Blu-ray. This was back in the day when Hong Kong Legends put out double disc sets with bonus features for this type of stuff. They were really great company back then. So I just ordered it and thought it was actually Red Wolf, but it is Sea Wolves. Then, Rob, you showed it, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago. I finally got it too from David Toohey below.
Did you watch it? Have you watched that yet?
Not yet, Rob. And
Have you ever seen it? It's really good.
I'm not sure, Rob. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. Have to watch it to remind myself.
Yes, I would assume you would. You own it. You have to watch it. Yes, you do. By the way, that's a Kino Lorber disc, right?
Yeah, Kino Lorber disc.
Kino.
Next one.
I got no box from Kino Lorber this week. I was sad.
Yeah. Next one. Cat in the Bag for me, Rob. But I just love the cover artwork. Let me just see the language so I didn't make a mistake. Yes, this is a Korean movie. It comes from Velgo, USA. Just says Devils Stay.
I'm in.
So special considering the packaging. But Cat in the Bag for me, don't know anything about the movie. Then yesterday, Rob, a movie that I don't know why it never came across my point of view from back in the day, probably because of censorship or something like that. Because yesterday I watched from 1988 Deadbeat at Dawn.
Oh, that's Jim Van Bever's movie, right?
Correct, Rob. Correct, Rob.
Where'd you get that?
This is the German one. Just the German.
Oh, dude, you've never seen that movie?
No, Rob. But what a banger. What an expectation maker. For me, it's the Warriors down all the points. It is that filmmaking is dangerous filmmaking.
Yes.
Because on the IMDb it says it was shot over 4 years. They had no permits whatsoever to shoot anywhere. And I couldn't believe the last 10 minutes, Rob. Because it's just 80 minutes. Oh, there's only 10 minutes left. Probably rounding down, but you can put a lot of stuff in 10 minutes. So I had a really good time considering the exploitation part of the movie. Couldn't believe how gory the stuff was. And this is where I say, is it good filmmaking considering edits or story-wise? Perhaps not, but it has heart, blood, sweat, and tears put into it. This is filmmaking. This is filmmaking, not at the top level.
Jim Van Bever was notorious, and he's kind of been forgotten about.
Yeah. He was the director. He wrote it. He starred in it. With his own stunts. I couldn't believe it. Really great Deadbeat at Dawn. And there's of course the Cool Arrow release, and I think the German one is more or less an exact copy of that one, considering the bonus features. But I love the little bit of the comic artwork. And speaking of a little bit more exploitation movie, this is not a new one that I got, but I watched it finally this week. I watched Humanoids from the Deep, Rob. What a banger! What
Dude,
a banger!
okay. come on. How, from the opening, how great is that movie?
Yeah. What a pacing, you know. And I didn't know that Rob Bottin made the effects, that James Horner was responsible for the
And
score. Mark Goldblatt did the edit, you know.
James Horner, it's Humanoids from the Deep is a great movie. And it also, it delivers all the way through. I mean, it is the definition of an exploitation creature feature. And what an ending. What an ending.
Yeah. Rob, and it could be, just between the two of us, the one movie where the most dogs are killed. You know? It could be. Just saying.
If my dogs
saying,
hear you, they're not gonna like that.
Yeah. No, they're not happy about it. But the effects were great. Still back then, I couldn't believe that I had so much fun with Humanoids of the Deep.
And you know what? It's a pretty. There's some great shots. There's a great tracking shot where you see a boat that's very redolent of Jaws. It's kind of like the orca going through this marina or going through the. It's beautifully because the locations are great.
Yeah,
you know, you're at this there's a lot of outdoor
real stuff. You know, you are at a harbor. I didn't expect that much explosions going on. You know?
Oh, it's awesome. Humanoids from the Deep is awesome. Don't sleep on Humanoids from the Deep, because as far as creature features going, it's sexually explicit. It's people died. It's just there's explosions. It's amazing.
And Rob, it's even woke. You know, with the medical scientist telling the other, "Are you stupid? Are you stupid?"
It's really good.
Great
and
recommendation.
The monsters are great too. They're great.
Totally.
The creatures are great.
And the transfer was fine. Was very fine too. I have to say.
Yeah, it looks great.
The transfer of the moon. Yeah, totally.
Yep.
And it's, we get the uncut version of it.
Well, you have to have the uncut version.
Yeah.
And it delivers.
And unrated cuts. It totally delivered, Rob. Especially the pacing. You know, you're expecting, if you're watching an older movie that you've not seen, is 40 or 50 years old, you're just expecting a slower pace, you know. But no, that was Humanoids from the Deep, you know.
Humanoids from the Deep get you where you want to go. It's great. Exactly. And the score, you can hear a lot of the Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan score in Humanoids from the Deep. There's a lot of Star Trek II and Aliens in it.
Yeah. You have to start somewhere, you know. There were a lot of famous names attached to Humanoids from the Deep. Then a cat in the bag from Europe, German media book. Let me just see. Revenge, once again, on an epic scale. It's called Beyond Fury.
Wow, what a cool piece of artwork.
Yeah. So no idea. From Great Britain with blood, you know. It says here. So no idea about it. Just the little section of it. So cat in the bag. I don't know if it's crime stuff or more horror. You get the Blu-ray and the DVD. So this is not a 4K. So there are two discs of DVD and a Blu-ray. Cat in the backdrop. It's limited. Is it a limited edition? Yes. 222 I got. 180 of it.
And it's got a DVD in it too.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how can some company afford putting out less than 300 discs?
Different cover artworks, Rob. I think 3 or 4 different cover artworks for it. That always came with the same limited number to it. So the last 4. This one, let me just check. The original title or the English title, The Sword Stained with Royal Blood. This comes from, let me just see, it's the 777 art collection. This is not my first. I did show some of their stuff. And the German title is Das blutige Schwert des Königstigers.
Could you say that one more time?
Of course, Rob. It is Das blutige Schwert des Königstigers. Is the German title. So we get different artwork on the armory. And inside, as usual, you get your coaster with it, the poster artwork, and in it we have some artwork behind. It's always nice if we get a clear case if there's artwork behind it. So Blu-ray and DVD, and the poster for it. So, but the cat in the bag for me, as is the second one from the same company, from 777, new collection. This is number 16, actually. And this, perhaps you know it, Rob. I don't think I've seen it. From Japan, the movie called Time Slip.
Oh.
It looks like, we have some mix-up samurai and military men, so a little bit perhaps like a little bit. You have tanks and samurais, so I have no idea, and it's actually pretty long. It's 140 minutes actually. Inside again, coaster for it, and post artwork. And I think I read some of it. This is the first time that it's uncut here in Germany. Time Slip. Never seen it. Never seen it. So let's put that back together, and we get to the last two. This one was one of Eric Weber's most liked movies last year, and it came out as a media book here. It's called Handling the Undead, which is more of a, I would say, a drama. It's from Norwegian.
Wow.
This is the inside. It's really people that, dealing with the undead. They are still living with them in their apartments. There are more interconnecting stories, and it comes with a poster which is signed
Wow.
by the director. Handling the undead. So it's more of a little bit of a dour experience.
Yeah, sure.
It had his premiere, of course, at the Sundance Film Festival. Here, let me just see if there's some stuff back. So it is definitely a slow movie. It's from the Pirole Foo label here. So Handling the Undead, but it's not 4K. It's not 4K. It's just, let me just check. Yeah, Blu-ray and DVD. And the last one, Rob, the big one for this week. Had a great time watching it again. Ready, Rob? Finally, Deep Blue Sea is here. Even if the cover, I know it's not the best for the movie, but I had a great time with the movie because I haven't seen it in a long time. And I found out, Rob, when I watched it again, it's actually more of a disaster movie with sharks in it. So you have this artwork, but you can change it once again to the original. Original artwork is available too. We have some cards in it, and of course some promotion for the Fistful series. And had such a good time watching it again this way. And what's the last one? Nope, that's it. The 3, and of course it comes with a poster for it and a pretty thick booklet, which is actually pretty great because it features more artwork, some sketches, storyboards for the movie. Storyboards. Just see. So a lot of picture stuff in it. So the only little drawback, Rob, but I don't want to scream replacement.
Uh-oh.
You watch it with the Dolby Atmos track. The last minute the last minute, only the last minute of the end credits, the sound drops out completely for the last minute. Just saying, not too much. You still got the DTS Master Audio 5.1 track. That's fine. But the Dolby Atmos track on my end did drop out the last minute completely. But just during the end credits. And since it's rap music, not that important. But here comes the big question, Rob. For you, my friend.
Okay.
Can you make a connection between Deep Blue Sea and True Noir?
Ooh. You know what? I only saw Deep Blue Sea once in the theater. I can you?
You can't, Rob. You can't. Let me help you out there, Bobby.
Oh,
I'm just assuming.
You and Thomas Logan are going to start calling me Bobby.
I'm just assuming that is the same person. Because I watched the end credits, Rob, and then the name came up. Single card credit. Single card credit. Do you know who the casting director was of Deep Blue Sea, Rob?
Christine Cheeks.
Correct, Rob. Correct, Rob. Correct. There's your connection with True Noir.
True Noir's supervising producer who cast True Noir also cast Deep Blue Sea. I should have known that.
Rob doesn't know people immediately, but he knows people who knows people. And perhaps the chances that Rennie is coming to our show has gone up a little bit. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
I forgot to bring this
Christine
up.
Cheeks, Rob. Christine Cheeks casted Deep Blue Sea.
So I'm watching Thief, right? And I just stayed through the end credits because I love the music. Actor John Kapelos, who has a very bit part in Thief, is in True Noir. Plays the Miami sheriff. He also plays the announcer at the fair. That Marianne Beam's character, and he also is the fight in episode 8. He's the MC of the fight. And in this corner, John Kapelos. John Kapelos is in Thief. Who, by the way, is the one actor that we got that was not actually cast by Christine Cheeks. John Kapelos was friends with Mike McDonald, my sound designer. And Mike McDonald said, is there a place for John Kapelos in this? And I go, I don't know if there's a main role, but we definitely could use him. So John Kapelos is the Miami sheriff who's overseeing Zangara in the prison in episode 6. And then he is in episode 8 as the fight caller. What do you call the ringmaster in a fight? What's that name? The guy, in this corner. That's John Kapelos.
Yeah, I know.
Who's in Thief.
You know, ring announcer. I have no idea.
You know what? I'm going to ask Christine. I'm going to ask Christine to get, because we're going to get Rennie Harden to come on the show, man. I'm telling you.
I was watching the credits. I was watching the credits of Deep Blue Sea, and I said, wait a minute. I know that name. Wait a minute. I got him. On Sunday. I couldn't wait for the show, Rob.
See, I was thinking actor. Yes.
Yeah.
Christine Cheeks. She'll love the fact that we're
talking
about.
Single card credit, Rob. Single card credit.
Christine Cheeks is a baller. She cast Boogie Nights. She's our supervising producer. See, when we make, when I don't like to brag. Come on. No, but when I'm doing something, I mean, True Noir is chock-a-block full of very, very talented people. I mean, I would say that of all the people involved in True Noir, I'm the least talented. And I'm being honest. I mean, all the actors, Christine, Mike McDonald, all the people I'm working with, Alexander Bornstein. But that's what you do. A good producer, you pick a good team, and they make you look good, and then you take all the credit.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the greatest script. I got the greatest casting director and supervising producer. I got a great up-and-coming composer. I've got a great business partner. So there you go. Yeah. I don't just work with a screenwriter. I work with the Mystery Writers of America Grand Master, Max. I only work with people that have 3 names. Just kidding. But, the only thing that I have over Max Allen Collins, as we use our 3 names, is that my last name is 1 letter before his last name in the alphabet. That's it. Burnett is before Collins, so that's it. But Max Allen Collins.
But just saying, Rob, is perhaps our connection to,
Yeah, you know what? If
I
I just connected because when Long Kiss Goodnight comes out from Arrow, we have to have Rennie come on.
Deep Blue Sea and Long Kiss Goodnight, two releases of his movies.
Yeah,
would be
because he strikes me as the kind of guy who would do it, who would come on the show.
Yeah.
Why
certainly.
not?
So.
By the way, we have I can't say who it is, but we have another director who sent us a video.
Ooh, cool.
That I can't. It's a
I'm
Lionsgate thing.
Still waiting on that one, Rob.
Yeah, I know, but it's coming. Thanks to the lovely Lisa Stevenson at Lionsgate Limited. So go to the Lionsgate Limited website. Go to the website. I mean, look, they got great stuff there, and they're running out of stuff. I mean, they do a really good job.
Yeah. That was my haul for this week, Rob.
Well, there you go. A fine haul it is.
Yeah. Just like you, I'm waiting for the big ones.
I got big ones. And you know what? I got to tell you, I placed an order at Amazon. You know what I got at Amazon that's coming in? Yeah. I never got the Scream Factory The Fly box set.
Oh, okay.
And I never got the Omen box set.
Yeah.
And they put them out there's a bundle of both of those together. Total Schnäppchen at Amazon.
Awesome.
So I got those and but then there's all this weird shit like the Beyond, the Grindhouse releasing the Beyond. It was available, it wasn't available, it's available, it wasn't available. That's coming. That's coming. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, all these random things. And then of course we'll get to some of our friends at Umbrella. Umbrella is putting out I can't pronounce his last name, Michael Haneke. Is that Haneke?
Yeah, Michael Haneke.
Michelle, they're putting out a box set of his, which is in the news. Should we go to the news or let me?
Yeah, to the news. Correct. Let me just see if there were some super chats perhaps left for you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do first. We're going to look for the super chats. And I will see because I always get kicked out. Let's see. Major Chai Chai says Princess Mononoke is showing this week in 4K at IMAX theaters.
IMAX,
that's definitely worth going. Just found out that Criterion's Blu-ray of When We Were Kings has a 5.0 soundtrack. Well, that's interesting. So we'll have to. 200 Watt Studio says a 5.0 surround sound system consists of 5 full-range channels without a dedicated subwoofer channel, providing a wider sound stage and immersive audio experience. No dedicated LFE channel. Well, I guess that makes sense because it's still Dolby Digital, but why call it 5.0? I guess you know what it is. I see what he's saying. So it's still Dolby Digital. It's just without.
Yeah, of course.
So it's. I get it. There's no LFE channel. So it's still Dolby Digital. It just doesn't have a dedicated. And that makes sense.
But it depends on how you have your setup, how the low frequency effect will be handled.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's no dedicated low frequency channel, you're still getting like Thief still sounded. You're still having all the sound is being sent, so you're just not using your subwoofer. It's not being triggered.
Yeah, it is considering how you clip your speakers. Rob, I have just small surround speakers. That can't handle deep.
So it's not dedicated, but there's still sound going into the subwoofer. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Considering your setup, Rob, if you would have, let's say, 5 full range speakers, then you of course can put up your set up to large speakers that are responsible for everything. But mine is every of the 5 speakers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. That's it.
So it makes a cut at 90 hertz. Everything below 90 hertz will go
to your right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's interesting. I to be honest, with all of my vast knowledge, I didn't know that. That's interesting. And also
just to set up on your receiver, Rob, how you will set up. If you set up your speakers on small, you can set up when the frequency will be
Sure.
dropping to the LFE, you know,
Well,
just
yeah,
to give
that's-
them more room to breathe
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
are smaller
Yeah.
speakers.
I
you
was
know?
just curious because as a 5.1, when you have dedicated digital channels, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you have regular stereo, your subwoofer still kicks in. It's not like you have to have Dolby Digital. It's just that's interesting. I want to now I have something to research. I'm going to go research that. I'm going to go.
Of course, the best setup would drop if you have full range speakers for every speaker, for the center, for left and right, for the surrounds. But not every environment is possible that you have full-fledged speakers.
No, my room is really small. I mean, but my room is tiny, and it's not ideal.
And for me, it's just to take a little bit of the workload from the speakers, you know, especially with the low frequency, and give that more to the subwoofer to do.
Yeah.
You know, so they can
look, man,
play a little bit of freer.
My dream is to build a dedicated building where I can have my home theater, you know, with my $1 million system.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good to dream.
You need to start with only $5,000, Rob. You told me on observation.
That's right. That's all. I just need $5,000.
And you make it big in Hollywood.
Should we go to the news?
Yeah.
Have we talked about this
box?
Lethal Weapon box set?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the big news. Dieter,
Yeah.
you can be my Huckleberry. Tombstone finally coming out. By the way, I love this. Unexpected. Love the Steelbook. I mean, look, there's a lot of talk about George Cosmatos, who directed this movie, or did Kurt Russell really direct this movie? I mean, there's a lot of talk about how this movie had a lot of production problems, and there could be a really interesting director's cut and make. That's a tall order to ask. So what we've got is Tombstone. It's a favorite movie. I love Tombstone. It's not high art, you know. I think it makes a great double feature with Silverado. I love Tombstone.
Yeah,
I love the cast, and we're finally getting it. And
I think it's not that far out, Rob. In April, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming out in April.
Already coming out.
It's so good. By the way, I think now here, look at this. Good Steelbook,
Yeah,
bad
correct,
Steelbook.
Rob? Yeah, exactly.
Good Steelbook,
Steelbook,
bad Steelbook.
bad Steelbook.
Hello, Warner Brothers. Disney is literally a block away from you, and look what you are doing. Disney,
Just look at
Warner
the mediocre,
Brothers.
Just look at the Disney mediocre series. What great steelbooks they have gotten.
Yeah, you know what? Credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
The Marvel and the Star Wars steelbooks are bangers, man. And although they're hideously expensive, but still, they're doing a fine job. Give it up where credit is due. And look, Disney, having worked for Disney, for 4 years I was making Disney actually for 5 years making Disney special features. I loved working. I mean, this is in the early aughts, but John Bernstein and David Jessen, and I love the team over at Disney. Their home video department for a while was second to none. In the 90s, their box sets, the white boxes of the Laserdiscs they did of Mary Poppins and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I guess they've fallen from favor. You know, Walt Disney's great live action achievements, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Where are those 4K discs? Where are they? I mean, we're getting Tombstone, no Mary Poppins, and no 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Disney, why not? I don't know. Maybe we'll get them in 2025 before the world ends, before there's too many tariffs and I can't afford to buy anything anymore. It's already tough enough as it is. But anyway, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? No, nothing. Tombstone, coming.
Just one thing, Rob. When we go back to Lethal Weapon,
do you really want to?
Both cuts. Yeah, there will be both cuts available, Rob, and we always discuss, you know, which version is the better one.
Okay, this is a good one.
I haven't seen the longer one for a long time, but I'm asking you, Rob, which version do you prefer?
You know, there's that scene in the beginning where Mel Gibson walks up the steps and goes after that shooter that's in the window.
Yeah, that I remember, Rob.
You know, I while I like that scene, I think I prefer the theatrical version.
Okay.
I'd be curious to hear what Shane Black says, who wrote the movie, how he weighs in on it.
I was surprised when the longer version came out back in the day. Surprised what stuff was in it.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I think I like the theatrical. But then again, I'll go back and watch it. I mean, I'd love to get Lethal Weapon in 4K. Lethal Weapon was the first. I know it was 87 and Top Gun was 86, but I don't think I saw Top Gun in THX with THX approved. I think Lethal Weapon was the first THX theater experience I ever had. When I was visiting my friend Taylor White here in California, we went to the Village Theater, which was bought by a collective of film directors in Westwood, and saw it in THX. And it was my favorite. It's where the Batman premiere was. Yeah. I saw Tequila Sunrise there when it opened. I love that theater. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But there you go. Tombstone, Huckleberry. You're my Huckleberry, Dieter. You're America's Huckleberry. We need a Huckleberry in these trying times. We got Man Bites Dog coming out from Imprint. This is another warm, fuzzy family movie. If you want to watch something that'll make you feel good about humanity, Criterion once put this out on Laserdisc, but Man Bites Dog, I love these Imprint titles, even though they're just Blu-rays. I like the fact that they're slip-cased. I love Imprint. They rock. So there you go. Man Bites Dog. Nice. Another French fun film. I don't know much about this, but it's coming out. It's coming out from 88 Films. I would buy this just for this cover. 9 Guests for a Crime. Italians, man, they always deliver these. I don't know if this is even Italian.
Films. Okay.
88 Films is putting this out, and it's got a 15 certificate. I just hope that the movie, I think great movie artwork, and I miss movie artwork. The Europeans did it right, man. They understood. Europeans have been human beings much longer than Americans have. That's the thing. I really believe that we're an immature country, whereas Europeans have been committing atrocities for a lot longer than Americans have. So that's why we get amazing cover art. I mean, Italians are passionate. So they make love better than the French. I know. I'm just telling you. How I know that. I'm not going to tell you.
In the morning.
Italians know what's up. Italians are the great sensualists. The French, they love art, but the Italians, they lean in to the sensual nature of horror. Look at this, blood and thunder, and the beach. Yeah. So you go. That's coming out. Pretty interesting. Speaking of imprints, I put these out of order. I'm sorry. Imprint's doing some more. If you love their Bewitched seasons 1 and 2, well, they've got you covered. Bewitched seasons 3 and 4 coming out on Imprint Television. Again, they do a really good job with the box sets. You got to love that. So Bewitched is coming from them, and so is Gidget. People forget Sally Field is Gidget. Nobody remembers Gidget in America, even though Gidget was America's sweetheart at one point, and everybody knew her name. No one knows her name now. Nobody even remembers Sally Field except knowing that people like her. But she's fucking Norma Ray. She is the Bandit's girlfriend in Smokey and the Bandit. You go, Sally Field. She's a legend, and Gidget was where her legend began. Coming out from Imprint. We've also got, what do we got here? Ozploitation rarities coming out from Umbrella episodes. I mean, I have the first 2. This is a must-own for me. I love these Ozploitation rarities. Really great box set.
That name of the actor, Brian Brown from
Brian Brown.
Movies?
That's right. Brian Brown. Love Brian Brown.
He looks like that on the cover, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Brian Brown. Yep.
Okay.
Gotta love Brian Brown, and they're also putting out. Oh wait, you know what? I got better covers for this. So Ozploitation rarities. Look at that, Volume 3. I don't even know. I've seen none of these movies. I don't know anything about them. But they're coming.
That's why they are rarities.
Well, that's the cool thing is the Ozploitation movies are rarities, but it's great to have them, and I love the fact that they're coming out. So let me tell you, let me read. I want to be thorough. I don't want to shortchange anyone. Ozploitation rarities, Volume 3. So here's what they say on Blu-ray.com. Scobie Malone is Scobie Malone is the name of. I just love that name, Scobie.
Name are all that we need, Rob.
A long overlooked piece of 70s Australian crime cinema, Scobie Malone is a stylish blend of murder mystery, political intrigue, and saucy entanglements. Jack Thompson stars as a charming yet tough Sydney detective whose latest case leads him from poolside patios to the corridors of power. When a woman is found dead at the Sydney Opera House, Malone uncovers a dangerous web of corruption, blackmail, and deception. With a catchy theme song, a steamy romance, and a plot packed with twists, this adaptation of John Clary's Helga's Web, the book, captures the era's freewheeling energy while delivering a sharp police procedural. Thompson's effortless charisma makes Malone a captivating mix of ladies' man and relentless investigator navigating a world where secrets are currency and danger lurks beneath Sydney's glittering surface. Well, it's a new restoration. It has a new audio commentary. It's got all these new documentaries. That movie actually sounds really, really good. Goodbye Paradise, another movie, a cult favorite of Australian neo-noir. Goodbye Paradise is a sharp, sunburned thriller that blends political satire, mystery, and offbeat humor. It's another cop movie, which is great. The Empty Beach, which is the cover here. Brian Brown stars as Cliff Hardy, a down-on-his-luck private investigator hired to look into the disappearance of a businessman presumed drowned off Bondi Beach 2 years earlier. Man, I got to see this having lived in Sydney for a year, but when a journalist linked to the case is murdered, whispers emerge of secret recordings that could expose high-level corruption, and now everyone wants them. This is like 70s conspiracy private eye stuff. This is like right in my wheelhouse. I'm getting this, man. Ozploitation Rarities Volume 3. What a banger. Hell yes. And then let's see, what do we got cooking next? What is next on this? We have Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I don't know what to tell you about this. The old, our old fairy tales or stories. Directed by Scott Chambers, this terrifying reimagining of J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan follows Wendy Darling as she embarks on a perilous quest to rescue her brother Michael from the clutches of the evil Peter Pan, who intends to send him to Neverland. Not really.
It from the Winnie Pooh makers?
Probably.
Winnie Pooh Blood and Honey?
Maybe. So there you go. It's collector's edition. If that floats your boat, hey man, you should have it.
Yeah,
Why shouldn't you have it?
The German Steelbook Group.
Of course you did. Why not? Then we have Intacto. I really like this movie, okay. Intacto. If you haven't seen Intacto, you should. This provocative thriller features a powerhouse performance from cinematic legend Max von Sydow and Argentinian star Leonardo Sabriella, or something. What if luck could be bought, sold, or stolen? Would you risk it all to become the luckiest person in the world? Intacto is a chilling, mind-bending journey through a shadowy realm where luck is the ultimate commodity and no one escapes unscathed. Really like this movie. Everybody should get it. Trust me, you won't regret it. Then what we got here? We've got The Science of Sleep, Michael Gondry's movie. And if you know who Michael Gondry is, this looks like a great special edition. Science of Sleep, very cool. And here we go. Haneke, the box set. Look at this box set. Collector's bundle. That's what I like to hear. Collector's bundle. Yes.
Looks stylish.
Doesn't it look stylish? Yeah. And of course, let's see. What do we got here? Provocative filmmaker Michael Haneke is renowned for exploring the human nature, isolation, and societal disintegration. His films invite deep reflection on the complexities of modern life. Now, in this box set, we get The Three Paths to the Lake from 76, Lemmings Part 1 and Part 2 from 79, The Seventh Continent from 1989, Benny's Video from 1992, which, if you haven't seen it, wow. The Rebellion from 1993, 71 Fragments of a Chronology of Chance from 94, The Castle from 97, Funny Games from 97, Code Unknown from 2000, The Piano Teacher from 2001, Time of the Wolf, which, by the way, rules, from 2003, Hidden from 2005, The White Ribbon from 2009, and Amor from 2012. Okay. What a box set. Definitely have to get this. right?
Shame to say that I think I only know 4 of his movies.
Well, you got to watch more. That's what this box set's for. Spend the money, watch the movies, then you'll be educated. Woohoo! So you guys go, Umbrella.
More is his last movies: White Ribbon, Hidden, Funny Games, and Amour.
Yeah. Now we've got Indicator, Powerhouse, putting out Carnal Knowledge. Love this movie. Jack Nicholson, Candice Bergen, Art Garfunkel, Anne Margaret, and Jules Pfeiffer. And this movie was, I believe, written by Jules Pfeiffer. Carnal Knowledge, about sexual politics. Again, something kids today don't even know what that even is, unless they're watching it online, which is too bad. But I really like this movie. It's kind of horny and interesting, and I loved it when I was a kid. Why was I watching it when I was a kid? Because I was a horny kid. I'm a horny old man now. Nothing changes. Carnal Knowledge, Indicator. This should probably be a great transfer. Definitely going to pick this up.
It says definitive 4K HDR restoration.
There you go. And by the way, if Indicator says that, I believe it. Well, Indicator, they do it. They make it happen. Their transfers are beautiful. Now we've got Indicator, A Day at the Beach. I don't know much about this movie, but Roman Polanski wrote it. So this is interesting. I've never seen this. Definitely want to pick this one up. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. But
don't know the director's name, Simon Hesera.
Yeah, I can tell you. I'll tell you about it. Would you like to know something about it? I will tell you. A Day at the Beach. Mark Burns and Beatrice Edney star in A Day at the Beach, a downbeat tale of alcoholism. Well, I can relate to that. Written by Roman Polanski, produced by regular Polanski collaborator Gene Gutowski, who worked on Cul-de-sac and The Pianist, and shot by celebrated cinematographer Gilbert Taylor, who shot Star Wars and Repulsion. When Bernie takes a little girl, Winnie, who may or may not be his niece or perhaps daughter, for a trip to a decrepit Danish seaside town on a day of heavy rain, he sets about cajoling the locals in a desperate quest for alcohol, leaving his young charge to fend for herself. The sole feature film credit for director Simon Hesera, A Day at the Beach received scant distribution at the time of its production, but after having been lost for decades, it was eventually revived and re-released to critical acclaim, with audiences particularly interested to discover the charismatic cameo appearance by British comedy legends Peter Sellers and Graham Stark. Oh. Wow. Well, there you go. And then also we have coming out from them, The Gentle Gunman, in 4K. I mean, I love that they're putting these movies out, these British films. John Mills and Dirk Bogarde star in The Gentle Gunman, a riveting wartime thriller directed by Ealing Studios regular Basil Dearden. Brothers Terry and Matt are undercover IRA foot soldiers involved in the bombing campaign during the London Blitz. When Terry begins to question his part in the violence, Matt warns him to go into hiding. However, determined to clear his name, Terry vows to play his part in freeing a group of IRA members who have been captured by the British police. Written by Roger McDougall, the man in the white suit, and produced by Michael Ralph, Saraband for Dead Lovers and Out of the Clouds, The Gentle Gunman is a tense and stylish drama from one of British cinema's most celebrated studios. That's pretty cool. And then this, another great cover. I love this title, The Ship That Died of Shame.
Shame.
I don't know what that means. How does a ship die of shame? Can a ship be shamed? George Baker, amen, for all you James Bond fans out there. Richard Attenborough, if you like, Jurassic Park. The Ship That Died of Shame. It doesn't really... Richard Attenborough, George Baker from the Dam Busters, that's what it says, and Bill Owen head an all-star cast in The Ship That Died of Shame, a dark and powerful British drama directed by one of Ealing Studios' leading lights, again, Basil Dearden. At the end of World War II, 3 crew members of His Majesty's gunboat 1087, Bill, George, and Bertie, are brought together again through circumstances and start a business, refitting their trusty wartime ship to make regular channel crossings. Before long, however, Bill learns that the ruthless George has been getting them involved in more and more depraved activities and is repulsed. But it's the 1087 who refuses to accept her part in the gang's amoral adventures. So there you go. Whatever that means. Is the boat alive? Who knows? I guess you have to get the movie and find out. Going from this movie to Wayne's World 2 in 4K, coming out from Kino Lorber. How does Paramount not release the Wayne's World movies? How do they offload those to Kino?
I have no idea, Rob.
I don't either, but God bless Kino.
Steelbook double.
Yeah, they should have. They should have, but Paramount has no money. So Kino's going to get it, which is great. That means we'll actually get it. So you go, Kino Lorber. Wayne's World. Excellent. Then we get Visceral. Between the Ropes of Madness, our favorite company, Unearthed Films, that recently gave us, say it with me now, Dieter, Feed.
No.
Feed.
Yeah. And this looks in the same alley, Rob.
A boxer loses the biggest fight of his life. He slowly finds himself giving up his dream and finds that life is not worth living. At least those lives around him are not worthy of life. He steps through and unleashes an entity that torments him and guiles him to do unspeakable acts of torture and murder. Oh, I'm in. As body counts rise and lives are diminished, will he have any hope, any way to fight back to what he once was? I don't know anything about this movie, but it sounds good to me. Why not? Why not, right? Then we've got, I love this movie. I've owned this movie on Blu-ray. It was one of the first Blu-rays I ever got. The movie Summer Wars. It's delightful. Coming out in 4K in a steelbook, I believe. Is it 4K? I think it is. I like this. I like this steelbook. I do.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I mean, it is 4K. It's Shout Factory.
Oh, Shout Factory.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'll upgrade. And then a movie I really like, Nathan Hayes, Michael O'Keefe, and Tommy Lee Jones. Also coming from Kino. I don't know if you've seen this, but an action-packed swashbuckling adventure. Nathan Hayes stars screen legend Tommy Lee Jones. It's funny, they say in the description, from Black Moon Rising.
That's the movie to
That's
pick.
the movie everyone knows him for. Black Moon Rising. Written, by the way, by John Carpenter. As the notorious real-life Buccaneer Captain Bully Hayes and Michael O'Keefe from Caddyshack, believe it or not, as the aspiring Reverend Nathaniel Nate Williamson. The story takes place in the mid-1800s in the South Pacific Islands, where murderous raids and bloody battles were not uncommon. When a cutthroat gang headed by the villainous Ben Pease leaves young Nate for dead and kidnaps his beautiful fiancée, Nate's only hope is to forge an unlikely alliance with an infamous, unpredictable swashbuckler named Hayes. And there you go. And do you know who co-wrote?
Perhaps Kino does know something more concerning Black.
Do you know who co-wrote this movie?
No.
John Hughes. Breakfast Club's John Hughes. Not kidding. He really did. Now let's jump over to Shameless. This is wild. Shameless is putting out Dario Argento's Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Like, you'd think that like Severin would get this or something, but hey, they're putting out in 4K, which is pretty cool. I mean, hey,
masterpiece? Okay.
Yeah, what's not to love? What's not to love? And that's cool. Shameless, you know, it's kind of a lesser known boutique label, but they've got some pretty interesting titles. Back to Imprint. Imprint's putting out Factory Girl, which is wild. So that's cool. You know, the tragic biographical drama comes from the award-winning director behind the documentary Hearts of Darkness, George Hickenlooper, the late George Hickenlooper. And, of course, Sienna Miller stars as It Girl Edie Sedgwick, who, by the way, Edie Chow, baby, if you're a cult fan. Anyway, that's a little, I don't know if that's a non sequitur or not. Sienna Miller stars as It Girl Edie Sedgwick. Guy Pearce stars as Andy Warhol. And the stunning supporting cast features Hayden Christensen, Jimmy Fallon, Mina Suvari, Mary-Kate Olsen, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, or as we like to know her, she's now Mrs. Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so there you go. That's kind of cool coming out. I like this movie. Nice. I saw this movie in the theater. And then we have The Cruise, Barnett Miller's documentary. I like this movie. If you haven't seen The Cruise, it's kind of a wacky film about New York. And this, by the way, comes to us from Oscilloscope, founded by a Beastie Boy who's no longer with us, I believe. And this is Tommy Speed Levitch waxes philosophical as the city's most eccentric tour guide. and Speed's bombastic and psychedelic poetry is captured in this documentary, The Cruise, the groundbreaking debut feature from two-time Academy Award-nominated director Bennett Miller, who directed Capote, which I love, Moneyball, and Foxcatcher, all three of which are great movies. Then we have I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. Mike Hodges directed this. Mike Flash Gordon Hodges, but he also directed Croupier. He came back with Croupier and then with Clive Owen, and then this was the second of those new movies. I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. The great Charlotte Rampling, John Rhys-Davies, and Malcolm McDowell. I like this movie a lot. I don't like it as much as I like Croupier, but hey, you'll sleep when you're dead too. So everybody should watch this because it's good. Coming out from Kino Lorber. Woohoo! And I got to tell you, Dietz, speaking of ER, because we talked about The Pit, I think one of the greatest hours of television is, I think it's a first season ER episode, correct me if I'm wrong, called Love's Labor Lost. And it's the episode of television that made me look up what eclampsia is. If your wife, Dieter, gets pregnant and there's eclampsia involved, run. No, actually, don't run. Hold her hand and be there, because, man, Love's Labor Lost was a harrowing. It started out as a very nice, you think it's going to be a really nice episode, and by the end of Love's Labor Lost, your jaw is on the fucking floor. That was to be honest, Love's Labor Lost. I didn't watch a lot of TV at the time ER debuted. The first episode of ER I watched was, in fact, Love's Labor Lost. And when it was over, the only thing I could describe it to you as, it made me feel like when I was 5 years old and saw my first Twilight Zone episode. And the first Twilight Zone episode I ever saw was To Serve Man with the Canamits. And at the end, you know, in To Serve Man, the Canamits come to Earth, these aliens, they want to help humanity, and they leave a book at the United Nations in their alien language, To Serve Man. And we find out at the end of the episode, it's a cookbook. So they've come to Earth to eat us all. And when I was 5 years old, that was the scariest fucking thing that ever happened to me. And I felt the same way. I felt at the end, in a different way, but I felt the same way but different. At the end of Love's Labor Lost, my jaw hit the floor, and I'm like, this is what ER is about? Why do I tell you this story? Because that episode, Love's Labor Lost, was directed by Mimi Leader, who went on to direct Deep Impact, and then, of course, made like Pay It Forward or whatever. You know, I don't know. Mimi Leader, talk about a female director that knew she could wield a steady cam. I mean, oh my God, did that woman know how to direct. Her first feature was, of course, The Peacemaker with Nicole Kidman and George Clooney. Now, is this movie high art? Certainly not, but it's really good. And she brought her directing prowess to this. I think she did a fine job making this movie. I always love this movie. And it's coming out, so get it. It's really good. And Nicole Kidman is so cute in this movie. She's just, yeah, I love Nicole Kidman. What can I say? I love the way she's taken her career and everything. And Carl Urban's a lucky guy. And you know what? When, I don't know if anyone followed this controversy recently about Nicole Kidman, but she was online and she was talking on this, I forget what show she was on, and she was talking about what every woman should try in her life. And she goes, what's one thing every woman should try in her life? And Nicole Kidman's like, well, ladies, you know what it is, and you should do it a lot more than once. And people were speculating on what she meant, and I guess it came out that she meant, oh yeah, do a striptease for your husband. That's not what she meant. But I'll let you decide what it is. Okay. And that made me love her even more. You go, Nicole Kidman, a redhead that thinks like you do. That's what I'm talking about. That's like Dream Girl right there. But she was a Dream Girl in BMX Bandits and in Dead Calm. Where's the Dead Calm 4K, by the way? Where's that?
I think, Rob, this was the first movie I saw her in.
Yeah.
VHS.
Yeah. Totally.
Todesstille was the German title.
So let's go to the charts. Top-selling Blu-ray discs are all HD formats. Gladiator 2 is the number one. Wicked, Red 1, Kraven the Hunter, Den of Thieves. This is not a very good list. Den of Thieves, Nosferatu, Venom the Last Dance, and The Substance. That's cool. Twisters, and I love seeing this. Thief, number 10. Yep. With a bullet. I love seeing Thief come back. You all have good taste. I'm so proud of you. Then the top-selling 4K Ultra HD discs, Gladiator 2, Wicked, Nosferatu, Thief, number 4, as it should be, with a bullet, Daylight.
And
How are
five,
people...
The canceled Daylight made it in the chart.
The canceled Daylight. It was
canceled.
shipped all because of, what is it, the music video that they didn't have rights for? Doesn't matter. It's great.
And no idea, Rob.
Transformers 1, look at this, Deets, your favorite movie, Trick or Treat.
Unbelievable.
Trick or Treat, number 7. You people have no taste. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. Get the Lionsgate Limited. Don't get the single version. Go get the Lionsgate Limited 2-disc steelbook box set. Akira, love seeing that. It's from Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll re-released Akira, so it's re-released from a different... Wow, that's interesting. And then, of course, The Substance from Mubi is number 10.
Doesn't Crunchyroll belong to Sony somehow?
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yes, it does. So there you go, Deets. All the news that's fit to print. And that's it for the news. So
Awesome.
There we go. Let me
surprising titles in the top 10 charts.
Yeah, really cool.
No.
I like that.
So I would say the super chats.
Yeah, I'm going back to super chats. We got some more coming in. Castle Grace Skull. First of all, okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let me before I delve into this, I took down my picture. I took my picture out of this, so I can't show the picture. But I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I have to say it. 200 Watt Studio first says Midnight Robservations on 5.0. Rob, I have to look it up. Got to find out how it works. 200 Watt Studio goes on to say, in my house, only one film has 0.0 surround sound, To Live and Die in LA. Dude, the thing is, whenever you say that, you're impeaching yourself. You're not impeaching me. History has proven you wrong. It's your wrong think that brings you to this conclusion. Castle Grayskull from up in Canada, America's Hat, has gifted a membership to the Burnettwork. Thank you very much for that. Secular Monk celebrates 19 months of membership, and Secular Monk says, "Happy birthday, Rob." Well, thank you. Ecto1701 says, would you buy Star Trek, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager on 4K? Come on.
I think we would be happy if it were just Blu-ray.
Next Generation and Enterprise are on Blu-ray. And when Next Generation was restored, it was restored in 4K, so they could do an upscale. They should have done it in 4K. When we were working on that back we talked about that. We tried to convince them to do it, but look, the idea of AI upscaling just drives me berserk. I go back to the negative. But we're all going to be living through an age of AI upscaling soon. I mean, look, if you can upscale using quantum computing, where you'll be able to type in exactly what lenses were used in each shot, I would say, okay, maybe quantum computing will be able to do upscaling properly. But you'll still have to have somebody oversee it. Maybe that would work. I don't know. But yes, I would like to buy them in 4K. But there's not enough people that will buy them in 4K, so that's why it's not going to happen, which we learned with the Next Generation releases. Thomas Logan says, Warner Brothers Home Video has officially triggered the first 4K collector revolt with their atrocious Lethal Weapon steel design. The entire 4K community hates it. Well, I think the entire world hates it because it's god-awful. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If your community that you're trying to sell something to hates your steelbook, change it. Like, why would you? Somebody didn't do the work that they were supposed to do. Somebody at the studio, and I will dare say, somebody said, look, I'm Jewish. And do I have a problem with Mel Gibson being a drunken buffoon and going off on Jews? Listen, my entire life, I've heard everything about the Jews. And I keep asking myself, look, if the Zionist-occupied government and the protocols of the elders of Zion, everybody seems to think that every ill in the world is controlled by this Jewish cabal. And I would say, where's my ticket? Where's my check? How do I get to be part of this Jewish cabal, and can I help take over the world too? I mean, apparently they're
Where's your
so
$5,000, Rob? that
Where's
you
my
owe me?
$5,000? And with the Jews being so powerful, why does everybody's been attacking the Jews for thousands of years? If they run the banking systems and they run the Zionist-occupied government, how come they can't stop people? Where's our standing army? We should have the best army in the world with the greatest, most amazing fighters. They should all. Where's the King David Corps where we take down Goliath at every? We don't have that. And I'm waiting for my check. Can I please join the Jewish cabal that runs the world and runs the banking system? I'm waiting. Is it because I was adopted? I did find out my biological mother was Jewish, but I really think that I've missed out. People don't trust me. They don't think I look Jewish enough. I'm waiting. Where is it? It bums me out. By the way, speaking of Jews, Italy is currently playing Germany, and they're going down.
Yes, great.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying right here. Marco says it.
Yeah, I know
Marco
that
says
they
it.
are playing, Rob. I know. Okay.
They're playing, Italy currently playing Germany. What do you think? Who's going to win? Do you have a prediction?
I actually did made a tip with my mother. We're always doing that.
You gamble with your mother?
Was actually considering just soccer when the
do
German
you make her
team is
put up?
playing.
Do you make her put up a lot of money?
No, not really. Not really. It's
Why
just it's just more for the fun of it. But sometimes you get.
Do you ever go to your mom's house?
nice-
You guys. I haven't heard about this. Do you guys watch games together?
Pardon
Pardon me. You don't call it
not
games.
anymore. But
It would be a football match.
it was
right?
it was more of a tradition when my father was still alive, Rob, that we all three did a little bit of a tip session how a German football game would be going out. Put some little bit of money, and sometimes you get a big pile because if no one gets it right, it stays in it, And sometimes it's bigger. No one was right, and I actually was on a draw this evening, Rob, with a 1-1, actually.
Wow. Okay.
But it's
All right.
good to hear that it seems to be going a different way. It's nice to know.
There you go. Okay. Vixter, the Vixter's here. She says, "Talking to ER, have it all on DVD, but I hate the discs as they are double-sided, so they always skip. It's so stupid. I need a Blu-ray set, single-sided." Well, with the Michael Crichton estate suing Warner Brothers over The Pit, who knows if we'll get it? I hope we do. Bo Edmonds says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter, my physical media brothers." Well, Bo Edmonds, it's nice to have physical media brothers, and we are eternally yours.
All around the world.
Walter Whitewalker says, I've been losing my vision since I was 24, and I used to be really good at picking out actors in media, so it sadly took 3 episodes for me to recognize Danny Poole. Wow. Well, okay, I'm sorry you're losing your vision, but you're right, Danny, you're talking about Paradise, right? The music, because, look, she's in, when you're talking about great shows, I mean, she's got a great, whether it's Paradise, whether it's For All Mankind, come on.
Don't worry, Walter. I recognize her, but not immediately. I know her from somewhere. But I couldn't make the connection immediately.
She's great. Love her to death.
Yeah.
Love her social media presence.
Totally.
Walter Whitewalker says, "And the music in Paradise is top notch. I love that main theme. The main theme that they introduced in the first episode. There's something about that main theme. I'd love to get that track if that music is available somewhere.
And
I would love
really
to get it.
Of single hits,
Yeah, it's really
Paradise
good.
one from-
We need the Paradise soundtrack album. I would definitely buy that. If it's put it on Spotify or whatever, but I'd love the physical media version of it. Okay, so we are caught up. Does that mean you have to go to the live chat? I mean, you
can take a little bit of a break because it was your run, considering the news, the super chats. You can
All
take
right, Dieter.
a little bit of a break. And I
I'm
say
going to turn it over to you.
Previously on Let's Get Physical Media, I start with my friend Altmetall. How in the hell has Dieter time to watch all that crap? I wish I had more time to even watch more of that crap. Paul Santella, I'm tired of the Guardians of the Galaxy music trope. I want original music composed specifically for the emotions the film is trying to convey. And Altmetall reminds us, as I said, watch Okja, Mikey, and you know what to expect. I only say Jake Gyllenhaal. It's probably some of the same character tropes that Mark Ruffalo brings to the movie. Anonymous, does Dieter buy every movie? Wait, what? I'm not a curated buyer considering my collection? Unbelievable. Robert Thomas Watson, See 1981 is a masterpiece. Tangerine Dream score is brilliant. Thief is also one of my all-time favorites. And I mean, one drawback for us, I tried to pre-order that joint special edition from Handout, but they're not shipping to the EU. Yeah, that's sometimes a problem for us. We didn't dive into it. Counter 007 asked us, Rob, what happened to Dante's Peak? As far as I know, there are just some rights issues that hold.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. We don't know exactly, but as far as I know, they're just postponed. They're not cancelled. Perhaps we will wait a little longer. Perhaps considering Daylight Turbine put out not in 4K, but their release. Perhaps there's some stuff there. Who knows? Who knows it? Exactly. And Rob showed that he put The Thief in his special case. And then Smith says the Goonies is not case worthy. It's not even worth owning, considering Rob. Timey-wimey limey. Both Total Recall versions have their own charms. I'm right there with you. I was really actually fond of the newer one. Clarence Maxwell. What is this IMDb? The podcast is this the IMDb podcast now? You have to take that up to Thomas Logan with his listing of the 25 movies. And then Smith says, oh, you showed Thomas Logan, you showed some restraints before 25 were probably not enough. Fun with Collecting says, so hit or miss. I got a steelbook a few weeks ago that was in a loose box with a case of energy drink cans. Miraculously, no damage. Sometimes you get lucky, or it was perhaps.
Well, it didn't come. It didn't come with a bean grower, so you know.
Luckily. The Alex Sorber says, "How is Frankenstein pronounced? Considering German, it's Frankenstein. If you're asking that." Dan Smith, how can Dieter be into hair metal? You'd think it would be just painful to watch. Certainly could be. All is going.
Dude, you wanted me to go see the Rammstein concert. You're like the original hair metal band, man. Come on. Dieter has great taste in hair metal. It also makes him realize what he's lost in life.
Star Wars Lego Rob. I was rooting for Demi Moore, and the man says Demi Moore robbed of Best Actress. No, she wasn't. Tim. Major Chai. Considering Amadeus Rob, what happened to Tim Hulse, actually? Considering his career after Amadeus, what was he?
He was in Animal House.
Else? Yeah.
He was in Parenthood. No, Ron Howard's Parenthood. I don't know. You know, I really liked him a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens. It's a tough business. Pete and Card. How does one score a blue wrench on Rob's channel? Just give him $1 million and you will get that blue wrench too. You know, easy peasy. Or just the $5,000, as we now know, is just enough to make it.
No. The going rate for a blue wrench would be $7,000, so I can get 3D Trekker to print me the entire 1/6 scale TOS Enterprise bridge. How about that?
So there you go, Pete and God, $7,000, and you get your blue wrench. Tim Enz, Dietz is ecstatic over the stickers. Yes, I was, but I haven't here the stickers for Black Creek. Michael Preston, important question, Rob, when can I buy True Noir on Blu-ray? If it's even not only for
to be honest, I'm shooting right now. I'd love to have it done by July, and of course, all the Kickstarter donors that will get that, they'll get it first. But now that I couldn't even start it till it's done because I didn't know it was going to be on the disc, and now I do, and now it's an issue of trying to. It'll be a BD50, but I'm going to fill it because if you listen to True Noir, we also have the history behind the mystery, which are the 8 to 9 to 10 minute pieces produced by Phil Dingledine with Max explaining the actual history behind each episode.
That's a nice extra, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So,
I mean, the
Michael
disc is going to be good.
We will keep you informed when you will be able to do. Kanto 007, Dieter can ask on my behalf, and I will do that because he wants to know if Rob, have you seen a Carry On film? You know, they were always talking about the Carry On films.
I have not,
Have you
but
seen
you know,
one, Rob?
Tim Hands
Not.
talked about which ones to watch. You know, and I haven't seen them. And actually, Max Allen Collins gave me a great. I love Max Allen Collins. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world. Not just because we work together, just getting to know him and becoming friends with him. He knows so much. But he was telling me a lot about the Carry On films. So I'm really curious to like dip into them. They're a complete blind spot to me. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into the Carry On films. I got to get that box set now. I feel peer pressured now from many directions to get the Carry On films box
Carry On
set.
Dan Smith, who knows what will catch Dieter's eye? I have always my eye on your live chat shenanigans here. Okay. Mark Anderson. Hi guys, purchased the Shadow, the Phantom, and the Rocketeer on Blu-ray. Not rated at the time, but they have aged really well. 3 great purchases. You and I, sir, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. Ryan Lopez. I read manga all the time. They tell me the end first and it's upside down. All flashbacks. BCH. The hunt was fun. The fight at the end is great. Couldn't agree more. We'll get that in 4K. Thomas Logan. Can't believe Deeds bought Gladiator 2. Is it that hard to believe, Thomas Logan? Is it that hard to believe?
Wait, of all the things
man
Dieter
says-
buys, you're going to give him shit about Gladiator 2?
Yeah, 2. Unbelievable. And the man says, I know, you know. And Miele, Trash Panda bought it, not Dieter. So I have a little bit of a split personality here, okay?
Boy, that would be a movie. That would be like a German movie, like Benny's Video or whatever.
And Marco says, most of Dieter's movies weren't received well. Oh, come on.
He made
curated masterpieces here.
Dieter made a trilogy. Dieter made a trilogy of movies, and they were very well received on this channel.
Almost a trilogy, almost. Rob.
Yeah, well,
Adventure
I'm waiting for the third one to come out.
Yeah, it will not come to fruition. Rob. Adventure Square. I love Die Hard 2 so effing much. Most times I hear of it, people are ragging on it. That's why we need to get Lenny on the show.
Well, I would like to point out that the villain in Die Hard 2 is played by Bill Sadler, who
is
coincidentally plays General Dawes, head of the Dawes Bank in True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak, written by Mystery Writers of America Grandmaster Max Allen Collins. And you can go to truenoir.co right now, and you can get the first 8 episodes, 4 great hours of audio entertainment. You can get the final climax. The final 2 are edited, and they will come out. I'm in the middle of, I have to go to Portland this week, and then I'm here for like a day, and then I go to Vegas for like 5 days.
When will you go, Rob, to Oregon?
Tuesday.
When will you go, Rob?
Tuesday. So
For
I go
how
Tuesday.
long?
I fly back on Saturday. We shoot Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Fly back on Saturday. I'll be here Sunday, and then we go to cinema. I'll probably have to do the show and then drive to, if I get back in time, drive to LA or drive to Vegas. Door to door, I can get to Las Vegas in 3 hours from my front door.
Okay.
So I will drive to Vegas for CinemaCon, which starts Monday.
If it's too much, Rob, just let me know. Then we'll skip one.
Well, I might end up having to do a sound mix on Sunday. I'm not sure. I've got to talk to so we'll see. I mean, I'm so used to, like, you know, it was a tradition when I can't tell you how many times in my younger days, in my 20s, we'd all be hammered and at 2 o'clock in the morning, and somebody would go, just like in the movie Swingers, let's go to Vegas. Oh, okay.
Okay.
And we would do that. Bob Stupak's Vegas World. Those days are over. But it was fun while it lasted. The early 90s, the Vegas trips were legendary and epic. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. Go back to doing what you're doing, Dietz. You go back to the live chat.
And Blue Sunrise says, Dieter has good taste. Your check's in the mail. And you know, my recommendation this week is, of course, Totenfrau, Woman of the Dead. Anna Maria Müller is back. Bo Edmonds, I got Craven the Hunter. I know it was critically panned, but I love it. Okay. Dan Smith, Dieter is good taste. This is not something I had thought I'd ever hear. BCH, yes, I started Paradise. It is very good. And then Smith says, I don't find Gladiator 2 to be any more ridiculous than the first one, except for sharks. What a White Walker. Mikey 17 was suppressing a much better movie. Rob, have you seen Mikey 17? Had you time to go to the theater?
I have not. I have not
have
seen
not,
it.
okay.
I apologize. I haven't seen it yet.
What a White Walker. Reacher and Invincible have been fantastic. Totally agree. Only one episode left for Reacher season 3. And Miele did offer me, to get his wife. And I asked for how much is the shipping cost. And he says, free shipping. Okay. That's always good. That's always a plus. Miele, I watched Constantine once, hated it. Perhaps it's time to revisit Constantine. Adventure Square, should have called it Gladiator 2, People 0. Okay. That's the score right here. Miele, Dieter, next week, please give Grace the buzzer. No, like I said, the buzzer is not used willy-nilly. It has to be earned. And Joseph says, oh, Terrifier 3 did pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure perhaps the fourth one. Come on, people. We can get it to the $100 million mark worldwide. Dan Smith, Terrifier SmackDown from Dieter and Adventure Square. Yeah, I don't get the Terrifier popularity. Dan Smith, I only watched the guitar solos of Pink Floyd at Pompeii. Okay. Lord Hoss, wait, the buzzer has to be earned. Yeah, Lord Hoss, it has to be earned. Joseph, Dieter loves all the trash, but Hasselhoff is a step too far. Joseph, the line has to be drawn somewhere. Line has to be drawn somewhere. Dan Smith, why is Dieter not the top pop star in Germany? I don't know either, but I could be a star in Hollywood if I've only saved $5,000, Considering Timan says Nora will be forgotten in 10 years, I said I will make a note and watch Nora in 10 years. Dan Smith, make a note in 10 years to give that a buzzer. And Tim Hens, yeah, you make that note, keep it in a safe place. I already have, And Joseph, considering the Star Trek trivia, answered before it's even asked. It can happen, with Rob, considering TOS. And Joseph wants to know, do they have Teslas in Germany? Yeah, we have Teslas too, but I don't see them too often here. That was the live chat, Rob, from last week.
And a fine live chat it is.
Yeah. Always funny comments in it.
Funny. Walter White Walker says, look up a band called The Who, especially Wolf Totem. Do you know this band? The Who? H-U? If you've never heard of them, metal with Mongolian throat singing. Oh, I've heard of that. I've heard that band. Very unique. John Bjorn, I hope I got that right. Hey guys, what is a 90s film that you guys think really needs a 4K release? Fan from Iceland. Can I just tell you something? I've been obsessed with going to Reykjavik like my whole life. Yeah. And when I was married, I'd actually bought tickets, plane tickets. I had plane tickets that I purchased, and then I got divorced. And we didn't, because my wife and I traveled a lot. We always had fun together traveling. We got divorced, and I never went to Iceland. I've always wanted to go to...
Could you give the tickets back, Rob? Could you get the money back?
Well, this was 20 years ago. So, no, I did turn them in, and I did get credit. So, but I've always wanted to go, and friends of mine have gone to Iceland and have a great time, and movies are always shooting there, and you look at like Alien, Prometheus, and even the beginning of Andor, or pardon me, Rogue One. I've always wanted to go to Iceland, and so did you see? I don't know if it was a movie or a TV series where there was like a couple and all the people in Reykjavik disappeared.
Okay.
I watched. It was weird. It's like the Quiet Earth, but in Iceland. Yeah. But I'd love to go to Iceland. So, what is a '90s film?
An international series, Rob. Was it
What?
an international series?
Yeah, it was shot in
series?
Iceland.
Oh.
It was shot in Iceland.
Okay.
Whatever it was. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember nothing about what it was called, but I liked it. Hey guys, what '90s film do you guys think needs a 4K release? A '90s film that hasn't got a 4K release that we want.
I think I'm right. It was in the 90s since we're on a Rennie train. I say Fort Fairlane.
Oh, I would love to get Ford Fairlane, a director's cut of Ford Fairlane.
Yeah, you're director's cut. We will ask Rennie
know.
about that.
Yeah.
We will ask Rennie about that.
He might have a copy of it that he could hook us up with.
I will ask him about that, Rob.
So you want Ford Fairlane?
Yeah. I think I'm right. It was in the 90s.
Let's see. Okay.
And Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2. Let's make it Die Hard 2.
Oh, there you go. Die Hard 2.
Die
Well,
Hard 2 was 80, 89, 90. Could be wrong.
well, let's see. Let me think. There's a lot of I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to look up and see.
Those are always tough questions.
I don't know if this is 90s. You know what movie I want to get that I've
we have,
never.
We have good answers, Rob. Strange Days in 4K, obviously.
Oh, okay. You know what? There you go.
Big this energy. Thanks, big this energy.
That's a great. Strange Days in 4K is a great. That's a great choice. That's you know what?
Yeah.
I love that movie
Obviously.
so much. But I can hardly wait. If you know the movie, that's I can. Juliette Lewis, and by the way, can let Philo Gant, played by Michael Wincott. First of all, let me just tell you, like Ralph Fiennes became my favorite actor because of two movies, not Schindler's List, although who's great in that, Strange Days and The English Patient. Both of those movies I want in 4K.
And Rob, considering Michael Wincott, if you're doing more audio drama, we need that voice.
Dude, no. Don't you worry. Not if, when. Michael Wincott, I'm hiring him. Okay. That's because it's your show, Bear. I mean, Michael Wincott is like the greatest. If you guys have not seen the greatest movie ever made about Hollywood, What Just Happened, in terms of being truthful about modern Hollywood, and Michael Wincott's performance in that, it's Michael Wincott acting with Robert De Niro in What Just Happened. You can get the disc. If you haven't seen What Just Happened, it's a little scene movie. Now we got Seth Rogen's The Studio coming out. Everyone's going to talk about that. If anyone's interested in how the movie business works, I implore everybody to watch What Just Happened. It has a great cast. But Michael Wincott, Catherine Keener, and Robert De Niro, just watch it. Watch it and love it. But anyway, I don't know. I think Strange Days and The English Patient, that would be it for me. So, yeah. I don't know. What else should we do?
Are we caught up with
Thomas Logan says that some of the titles sold out during Tuesday's Criterion half-off sale. Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, Inland Empire, No Country for Old Men, The Grifters. I don't have The Grifters. I got to get The Grifters. I have the other ones, though. That's interesting that Criterion sold off. They had a half-off sale, and they sold out of it. I mean, it makes sense.
Not surprising.
And the No Country for Old Men disc is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. You go.
We're caught up, Rob?
We're caught up. As far as I know.
We have time? Rob?
We always have time. Where do you have to do something?
Okay.
Hang on, let me make sure that...
No. I'm just asking you, Rob, if you have time.
No, it's, I have lots to do. But, yeah, let me...
short of time.
I'm always short of
Does that
time.
help you, Rob?
No, and John Bjorn... it was great to hear from somebody in Iceland. And we gave him great answers. I feel good about that. So yeah, okay. Wait, I didn't see what pictures you want to show me. Yeah. What do we got there? Okay.
Does that help you, Rob? Okay.
Got it.
Okay. The questions are: where's my lights?
You know what? This is an episode I haven't seen as much as other episodes, so it's going to be interesting.
Okay. So the first question is, Rob, what did Spock's tricorder read when scanning Sargon?
I'm gonna have to go multiple. I'm gonna have to go multiple choice on that one.
A, energy without form. B, delta radiation. C, 1,000 life forms.
A.
Energy, correct, Rob. That is correct. Who was Sargon's wife?
Thalassa.
Correct. Where did Sargon and his wife go after leaving the USS Enterprise? Where did Sargon and his wife go after leaving the USS
They went on a
Enterprise?
cruise to the Bahamas. No, what are the? See, again, that's okay. You got to give me multiple choice on that because it's a word like I don't.
Those are professional questions, Rob, from the best Star Trek expert. Okay, the multiple choice answers are Earth, Underground, or Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Correct.
See, I like that. That's a. I didn't know what word they were going to use. Like, where do they go? Like, Oblivion isn't a place they went. It's something that happened to them.
Okay.
I like to prefer they went on a cruise.
Those are the experts' questions, Rob.
I know.
Didn't make
Okay.
them.
Okay.
How many years prior to the Enterprise's arrival was
my
Sargon's
God.
planet devastated by war? How many years prior to Enterprise's arrival?
I don't know the answer. Okay.
Sargon's planet.
Multiple choice. I don't know.
Multiple choice. 1 million years, 500,000 years. The war was still raging, is the C answer. 1 million,
I have
500,000
honestly, I have no idea. I'm just going to guess 1 million.
Yeah. Wrong. It is 500,000.
There you go. I didn't know the answer to that. Sorry.
And the last one, Rob. Whose body did Sargon control while on board the Starship Enterprise?
James Tiberius Kirk.
Correct, Rob. Correct. There you go. Can you tell me something a little bit about the episode?
Well, what's really interesting is that episode, you find these energy orbs that have these three entities: Sargon, Thalassa, and Hanok.
Yeah.
And Hanok takes over Spock's body. I'm surprised they didn't ask anything about that. And it's called, the episode's called Return to Tomorrow. And it was really interesting seeing these I always love when actors get to play opposite what they are. So you had and you had why am I drawing a blank on her name? Dr. Pulaski. She got to be taken over by why am I drawing? I can't believe that. I'm getting old. There's, it's weird when you get older. There's just things that and you're just not there. You're supposed to know something.
It's too much, Rob. It's too
just,
much.
but it's just not there. And she plays a character named Anne Mulvihill. I know her character, but the actress's name, I'm like, why am I? Dinah Moldauer is her name. But it's weird because it's almost like your mind. You have to find new patterns. Like the pattern that is normally there, either maybe it was destroyed by alcohol. So the normal pattern that would go to this knowledge,
firing on different levels,
that I would have is missing. So I had to think of her character name. I had to think of Dr. Pulaski. I had to go around, and the neurons had to fire in different ways to come back to and Dinah Moldauer, who I interviewed for the Star Trek: The Next Generation discs. So.
Since you're telling me, Rob, you have not seen that as many times, more mid-tier episode.
You know what? I would call that a great meat and potatoes episode of Star Trek. And I think, whenever people, and this is my problem with Star Trek, you should never look at if you want to know what a TV series is all about, don't look at you'll BuzzFeed's 10 best episodes of the original series. Don't look at that. Look at the meat and potatoes episodes. Look at the episodes 11 through 20. And those, it's those interim, the highs are high. Everyone knows City on the Edge of Forever is great. Everyone knows the Doomsday Machine is great. Everyone knows Amok Time is great. That's fine. Everyone knows that. That's settled. But go look at one of my favorite meat and potatoes episodes, like A Taste of Armageddon, or Return to Tomorrow is another good episode. It's not classic, but it's intriguing and interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And you get to see great performances, and it has what if, you could take your consciousness, your essence, everything you are, And if your world was going to be destroyed, have it put into an orb, a disembodied orb. And we're there right now. If you can, I mean, in our lifetime, if you can upload your consciousness, when we have quantum computing and you can upload your consciousness into, you can turn your brain into a quantum computing whatever, which probably could happen. You could live forever in such a way. What would that mean? These are interesting. And that's why Star Trek is so terrible now. There's all of this really interesting stuff happening in the world, especially scientifically.
Because it fits on a USB stick.
Star Trek. But new Star Trek is terrible because it's not telling stories that are very interesting, because no one reads science fiction. You've got writers that are not asking themselves those out there questions. And the Star Trek writers did. Why? Because many of the people that wrote episodes for Star Trek were actual novelists and playwrights and short story writers, and they were some of the great fantasists in the mid-20th century America, whether it was Robert Bloch or Richard Matheson or Samuel Peoples or George Clayton Johnson or Harlan Ellison. I mean, a lot of people that were writing for Star Trek were great writers. Now you only have writers that are writing Star Trek episodes that grew up writing television. And if you're just watching TV, what we're getting is a copy of a copy of a copy. There's no original writing happening on Star Trek, which is really unfortunate. Everything is everybody. They're either ripping off Star Trek writers, like the Ursula K. Le Guin, when they ripped off those who walk away from Umlaus. So they're looking at there's nobody who's actually writing for modern Star Trek that knows how to write something original. They're all just riffing on other things. Now you could say that the original Star Trek did that too. Well, they used things like a submarine drama to write Balance of Terror, but the people writing it were writing original stuff, whereas modern Star Trek, they're just stealing. And you look at it and go, really? You're just going to turn the Gorn into a xenomorph? Oh, you're going to make one of the characters a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh? Well, first of all, that's dumb and doesn't make any sense considering he left Earth. So what, is his family just going to be allowed to flourish and they just allowed genetic Supermen? It's all so bad because it's really, really monumentally stupid. And it to me, again, everything wrong with America can be summed up in modern Star Trek, metaphorically. Right. Because you have a bunch of ill-educated, thoughtless people that have not read enough books, that are more interested in their own ideologies than writing great science fiction stories. They're incapable of it because they don't have the mental capacity. It doesn't mean that they couldn't if they tried, but they haven't put in the work. They grew up watching TV, so that's all they know. They're not literary people. And Star Trek and science fiction Star Trek, well, you could say it's its own genre. It's a literary genre. Science fiction is a literary genre. If you don't have a working knowledge of the literature, you will never be a great science fiction TV writer. You just won't. There endeth the sermon. So, and that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason that, like, you look at all the great TV that we see, whether it's Sopranos, whether it's The Wire, whether it's Breaking Bad, take your pick. The people that are writing those shows have more going on. They didn't just watch Buffy and Angel when they were growing up. And they're not so concerned with their ideology either. I want to see myself on screen. I need more representation for me. No, you don't. You need to write great characters and great stories.
Correct.
Sorry. Am I angry? I'm not angry. But you know what? That's why I have a giant Playmobil Enterprise hanging right above me. And I even found the deflector dish. So there you go. Huh. Where are we?
I think some super chats came in, Rob.
Oh, okay. People still want to be your Huckleberry. Let's see. Thomas Logan says, Bobby, Netflix offers you a live-action series order for 3 seasons of True Noir with Final Cut. Sarandos wants Elliot Page to star. Do you accept? No. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Elliot Page would be the star. Elliot Page is wrong to play the character. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. If you had to make a show that was miscast, it would fail. But it reminded me, Rob, on your observations that you did yesterday, considering that one letter. You had a star,
tied to a TV project and then fell completely through, So
Yeah,
perhaps
there's
just,
nothing.
Just tying Elliot Page doesn't give you immediately the show that you want.
No, and that's the problem. Nothing in Hollywood is secure these days. Everyone will tell you, well, you have to get this, you have to get this, you have to get that. And I'm like, I'm not saying that I am, but I might be working on something now, perhaps something that is not an audio drama that might be tied to True Noir in some way. And the thing is, if I was doing something like that, you have to work for the best. Everyone's always trying to, well, they're going to do, if I do this, then they'll let me do this. If I do that, they won't let you do shit because they don't know. And they're not invested in what you're doing. You have to do it yourself. You have to figure out a way to break through all that bullshit and make it on your own. That's the only way you can do it. Because all of these people, like if you want to go out and look, you know what's interesting? The people that are making foreign television shows that Netflix acquires, they had an easier time of it, and then they made a good show and Netflix buys it. I mean, in a way, I think that's going to happen. I think television, TV shows, streaming shows, they're so hard to get made that people are going to start figuring out ways to get equity financing and making stuff on their own and then selling it to the streamers. Because you're working with a bunch of people that really don't know. They don't know what they want, and they don't know what you have. So you're trying to convince people that don't have opinions of their own. They're looking for you to do all this stuff to cover their ass. You should get an actor attached. You should have this IP. They're just saying that. But that's no guarantee. You could do everything they tell you, and they'll be like, well, no, it's not what we want. And that's the problem with the business. The people in the business don't know what they're doing. They don't have opinions of their own. And if people don't know, how are you going to them and asking them to get in business with them if they don't know the answers? They're going to make you do all these things, and none of that you could do. They'll give you a checklist of 25 things that you have to do. You'll do all 25 of those, and you'll go back to those same people, and they'll be like, nah, not for me. They don't know. Yeah. And that's the big frustrating thing. I know. Like when I was doing True Noir, I knew I could look at what Max Allan Collins had written, and I'm like, we're going to do this. And I looked at his scripts, and I understood we have to go hire these actors and make it this way. And we did. Now, are we going to be able to make it pay off monetarily? Don't know. But there's already people that are interested in representing the audio drama and selling it for us. Why? Because it's good. Now, I'm not saying it's good to stroke my own ego, but for what it is, because we had the right script and we hired the right actors, forget my involvement, but we took a great script by a known writer and executed on that and fulfilled the promise of what Max Allan Collins had written. That's what the business should be about. You should have people that go, okay, we love this material. We like this material. We need you, or we'll find people to execute on this and make it happen, which is kind of what, when something gets made, that's kind of what happens. But to get to that point, the people that you're dealing with, they don't know. They don't know what they want. They don't know what's good. They're trying to second guess themselves by looking at stuff that already happened. It's really frustrating. There's no one in the business. There's not like one person you can go to who's a gutsy maverick that's like, yeah, I like that. Let's go make that. We don't have that anymore. It's too risk averse. So, yeah, like I said, that story, Cole Haddon's story, by the way, if you didn't watch last night's kind of my rambling observations, but I did read this article by Cole Haddon, he wrote a book that I like that I always show. He's been a showrunner. He's written a lot of TV, but he tells a story of getting involved in a project, and they had everything that everybody tells you that they should need, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because somebody else pulled a trigger, and that's the problem with the business. You do all this free work, and there's no guarantees. That's why you have to greenlight yourselves. And nowadays, look, who's to say, like we have our movie White Devils. You know, I made White Devils. Film Threat reviewed it. They're the only people that have seen White Devils. And Alan Eng, not because of me, but he gave it an 8.5. He totally got the movie. When I read his review, it's a low-budget movie. He looked at it. There's no stars in it, but the movie's good. It's a good movie. He looked at it and watched it, and he goes, this is crazy. He totally watched it for its own sake. He wasn't looking for stars or whatever. But it's a compelling movie. It's not very long, and it's really well made. It was a low-budget film. It should go somewhere. We're looking for distribution. But we made it, And if we went to other people and said, should we make this movie? They would have said no. Now, an argument could be made that maybe we shouldn't have. But it will, I think the movie succeeded in doing what it's doing. The problem is now it's like, well, there's nobody in it. I'm like, you know what? That doesn't even fly anymore. Who are movie stars anymore? Well, we have to have somebody who's even people that have 2 million social media followers. That doesn't translate to movies. If you hire somebody that's the people that have 2 million social media followers, their followers are following them on social media. They're not going to run out and watch a movie or a TV show just because they're in it. They want to see them on Instagram or TikTok. They're not going to go out and go to the theater and see their favorite TikTok star in a movie theater. They're going to
not necessarily.
There's nothing. It's not. Yeah. Anyway, watch my last night's observations. I get into all this, so but I guess that's over.
But I think considering Netflix, Rob, I like what I like about Netflix is the different international shows they have on their stream.
100%, and that's why that's why Netflix is so successful, because it has so much content from around the world. There's no way unless they start licensing international content now. Now Netflix has learned it's financing international content. I mean, and Netflix is worldwide. Yeah. And so it's really, really good. I agree with you. I love seeing all the foreign shows that are on Netflix.
Yeah. Like Totenfrau, Woman of the Dead.
There you go. Women of the... What's it? One more time.
Woman of the Dead. Woman of the Dead. Totenfrau. Die Totenfrau.
Totenfrau. Like Dark was a German series.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I guess that means we're at the end of our line. We're end of line. Thomas Logan says Cynthia Erivo as Capone and Rachel Zegler as Cermak. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. Can't do that.
So, if you're caught up, Rob, then on my end, you're bringing this show home. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I want to say thank you to Tom Jr. Jackson and all the moderators here. Look, the moderators that all paid me $7,000 to get their wrenches.
Exactly.
So if you're willing to, give me that $7,000, you too can be like Lord Toth and everybody else who has Darth Plato has a wrench. Yeah. And by the way, Lord Toth. Everyone says Lord Thoth. It's Toth, isn't it? Please, Lord Toth. It's Toth, not Thoth.
Just remind them, Rob, it's a monthly fee, not a one-time payment.
Oh, wow. Boy, can I hook that up? $7,000. I wish I had. Even the Amalfi app is only $99 a month if you want to fly private, or just get the perks of people who do. But I want to thank you guys for being moderators and all of that. So I don't know when the last 2 episodes of True Noir will drop. I have to figure it out, but they are edited. Just waiting for a song.
The biggest part is done.
I know. I don't know what to do.
Even if you said audio mix is sometimes, finicky, considering the last time you had almost a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, it was. No, it's all good.
A mess. It's all
good. Yeah.
And so we will see if we do a show next week or if Rob is too busy with other stuff, coming from Oregon and traveling to CinemaCon. Do you know exactly, Rob, already what CinemaCon will be perhaps showing?
Well, I know they're showing How to Train Your Dragon, the live action How to Train. Nice. That's already been announced. Yeah. I don't know anything else. I don't know what they're going to show. I mean, we've speculated, would Disney show Thunderbolts? Maybe. I don't know.
Could be, Rob. It's just
if it's really good. I mean,
around the corner. Yeah.
Look, I'm an unapologetic. I loved The Flash. I know a lot of people didn't.
Me too.
I love The Flash, and we saw it at CinemaCon. I loved it then. I was very surprised that it didn't do very well. Yeah. Because I thought the movie. I think in 5 years people will revisit it and enjoy it. Once they can remove themselves. But I really liked the movie. So we saw that at CinemaCon. I saw Top Gun Maverick at CinemaCon.
Yeah.
So they always show cool stuff. So I don't know what they're going to show, but I really like CinemaCon. I like seeing all the new equipment. They've got home theater stuff there, there's a lot of interesting stuff at CinemaCon. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, and perhaps it will this year even more interesting, Rob, considering the box office or the theatrical situation itself.
Yeah,
what they will perhaps do with it, to get it a little bit back into the fold, in the money.
It's true.
Money-making fold.
How is it that this show went 2 hours and 40 minutes?
I have no idea, Rob. I only had 10 titles.
I had 4 titles. 4. 4. I had 4. How did that happen?
So I'm actually happy that the bigger boxes didn't come yet.
I know.
That I'm
Like,
waiting.
oh my God. Well, anyway. All right, everybody. Thank you all, and we will
Hopefully-
see you probably next
Hopefully
week.
next week.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If not, we'll know. And we are out.
Nice.
That was fun.
Don't forget.